And it looks like I'm kind of live. Yeah, we'll see what happens here. I'm so out of practice. Really don't care either. Evening, St. Louis. Good to see you. Ain't a lot going on yet. We'll see what propagates, if you will. Ham radio joke. Really piss poor joke if you ask me. It was bad, St. Louis. Definitely bad, but you'd have to be in the biz to understand the point. Eh, that would have made Crusader cringe, but he would have laughed. I know he would have. He should be here sometime tonight. Probably have to send him a text, say, "Hey, we're live." No big worries. So what's up with you, buddy? Hmm. Yeah, we're gonna try to talk a little bit about what's going on right now. The solar propagation is with this coronal discharge that's hitting us right now. It's kind of crazy. You want to be careful about putting up your really sensitive, high power stuff because we don't know exactly how strong it's going to be. It could do damage to your equipment if you're not properly shielded, if you will. I don't think it's as bad as Nate thought it was going to be, but um, you're definitely going to get a lot of noise. I've actually haven't had my ADSB audio on today. Got my planes going in the background. Yeah, yeah, they haven't been nearly as bad as we thought they might be, which is a good thing. It doesn't mess with the satellites that way. And that will mess with a lot of the Starlink stuff that is being used in the hurricane damage zone to help coordinate efforts. Hopefully, some of the things we're hearing from some of our brethren aren't quite anything more than just isolated incidences. I've seen a lot of varying stuff coming out of there. Seems like a lot of it is the really bad reports are coming out of North Carolina, and I don't know why that is. That's where they're trying to really isolate or trying to really muddy the water with misinformation. Yeah, I'm not sure what the heck's going on there because I've seen some videos today that were the locals are doing pretty well. They just are getting overwhelmed with goods and donations and whatnot. They got nowhere to store it because they're such small communities. Of course, the food and water is appreciated, but they need other equipment right now. A lot of retired people in those areas with special diet needs and insulin issues and that kind of stuff. And I watched one gal today who was an outfitter but does search and rescue volunteering also. And she was saying that a lot of the people have that are in her area are retired folk. They've been able to evacuate some of them that are. She said one family, both the husband and wife, were in their 90s, mid 90s, and suffering some dementia issues. They were able to get them out recently, so that was good. Within the last day, I believe she said. Um, I know a lot of the ham stuff has been helping with coordinating communications, trying to put the help where it needs to be to get people in and out. We'll have to wait and see how this all shakes out. Hopefully, they don't just totally get the chance to blanket, you know, suppress all of this shit like they did with Maui. We still don't know what the hell happened there and how many people are gone. I doubt we ever will, honestly. We shall see how this all shakes out. I know Elon and Trump have been trying to make concerted efforts to try to get the correct help in there. Last I heard, the governor of Georgia still hadn't written the orders for the National Guard troops. At least I never heard that he had. It just kills me that they authorize and then say, okay, we're sending these guys, and then they don't, follow up with, okay, this is what we did. This is who's there, whether it be engineers or search and recovery teams. Pretty shit coordination, regardless. But that's where the ham operators and those guys on the ground that have the ability to get the word out are so important. Um, I need to actually start working more on getting my 2 meter up, 2 meter antenna up, so that I can, once I get my license, actually start working with those guys and get to know them at least enough to where I can get the word out, or relay, if you will. I had a major failure with an antenna design last week. I was way off. Yep, exactly, St. Louis. And it seems like they just get hit by roadblocks every time they actually get a thing going, and some swinging dick in the government wants to come in and tell them that they're interfering with their efforts, but they won't coordinate with them either. Really, really, really bad coordination on their point. They should be searching for all these guys that want to help and then actually coordinating with them, instead of telling them, no, you're interfering with our efforts, and you're clogging airspace, you're doing this, you're doing that. By the way, we need your radio, we need your solar power. No, fuck you, get out of here. You guys can pound sand all day long. I don't get it. Time for a new beverage. I'll be right back. Still on air though. Keep talking if you talk. By the way, the stream marriage is open. I have slots. Hopefully, some sluts. I mean, some people will show up to fill those sluts. I mean, slots. Oh, back. Not Not seeing anything real crazy going on here. Gilded's pretty quiet. I assume everybody will start feeding in here eventually. We'll see what happens. Hey, there's Sean. Cool. You're welcome aboard, Sean. Whenever you get ready, buddy. Crockpot chili sounds real tasty tonight. It's supposed to get kind of chilly tonight. I'm too lazy to make anything, even though I got all the ingredients for it. Probably put some slop together, fry an egg, and eat that. Who cares? Got some tortillas and some refried beans, so actually I can make a casserole dish with that. Yeah, that might be good. Been thinking about it for a couple of days. It's nice when you ain't got to put together something for somebody that's ungrateful and doesn't give a shit about you or anything else. She's just pissed off because she has to do some work, pay the bills, you know? I don't have to worry about that since 2015. It's kind of nice. And yeah, I know, I'm really exciting. I could break out the failed antenna and show you guys what it looks like. It looks really good, but it's good for nothing with what I want to use it for. So, built this damn thing. That's what they call a balun there. That's to help because the outer skin is live with this antenna design, which they call a coaxial collinear. You need a choke, if you will, and that's what this is. And got to digging into some more research and come to find out, I think I got this thing installed backwards. So there was a lot of mistakes made on this one. But this antenna is only good for the cell phones range, 600 megahertz. And it's dead nuts. It's got a really nice dip in it at that range. But I was shooting for 2 meters. And that's 145 megahertz. Pretty impressed with my new crimping equipment. Was able to put an end on it, a really nice end. Problem is, I'm never going to use it, nor can I recover it at this point. Oh well, you know, $8 to $10 down the rain. Live and learn. Of course, that thing gets encased in a PVC tube to give it rigidity, and I've got some new plans for that. One of the plans included using brass all thread as the end of it, and you actually screw it into the cap on the top to support it longitudinally so that the antenna is not just kind of crinkled up in the tube. We shall see how that works out. Once I figured out my measurements were so far off, um, I've scaled back the number of elements in that coaxial collinear. It'll be 2 half waves with a quarter wave on each end of it. We'll see what kind of gain. I'm supposedly able to get 3 dB gain with it. I'll have to wait and see if that is true. I still haven't figured out how to completely measure all of that stuff. I know I'm probably further ahead than a lot of guys, but I am absolutely no expert yet and never will be. It's a dark art, this antenna shit. even most of your engineers that work on that stuff are, it should work. Mathematically, it should work. Mathematics don't mean crap on fucking paper, man. You got to put that stuff into action. Anyway, how's things going there, St. Louis? Still crazy stupid or kind of calming down a little bit? Sending Nate a message, by the way. Yeah, it's been kind of weird that way here too. Don't we're not getting the usual marine overcast like we do this time of year. We got a high pressure thing sitting over us. It still gets cool because it's been keeping the air clear, but then you get a little bit warmer in the afternoon. I was planning on taking my AC unit out of the window today, but it kind of got warm in the house, so I just left it alone. Who knows? Maybe it'll be 70 degrees tomorrow, and 70 degrees in the Northwest is hot. I won't run the damn thing. Yeah, I know, buddy. I know. And cold for us is 32 degrees. I grew up in Idaho. I know what cold is. It's probably one of the reasons snow in this area is so freaking terrifying is because it's warm enough to be just water on ice and it is slick as hell. God, it sucks. It's like an ice storm, but you had snow without the ice or the rain to make the ice. Plus, everything's on a freaking hill. Yep. Everything I know about misery. I mean, Missouri. I don't know how close you are to St. Louis, but that area's got a pretty high population, so that would indicate to me a lot of asphalt, which is a heat sink. So I'm sure you guys get. Oh, okay. Well, it's St. Louis Arch, you're telling me this shit. Northwest Texas, that's ice storms and fucking cold and tornadoes. That's what I know about that area.
What's going on?
Ah, there he is. Look at that guy. He just showed up out of nowhere.
I have a habit of doing that. Yeah, I just got home not long ago. So
That's all good, buddy.
yeah.
I figured I'd get the show running. Been bullshitting
Nice,
with St. Louis Arch, and Sean was talking about coming in here shortly. He's got a crock pot chili going on.
nice. Um, St. Louis, what's going on, man? Um, yeah, it's been a crazy weekend. I had a conversation with a couple of guys in our community. Um, Matt, we gotta send him a notification that we're doing this. I'm
Hmm.
assuming he may have seen that. I had a conversation with him last night. Um, you know,
Well,
Tommy,
I
you and I have been
did.
talking.
Well, I did
Go
put
ahead.
up both. I put up links for both StreamYard and the YouTube channel within both Redonkulus and Rhino's channels. So they're out there.
Okay.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
want
Matt's.
to shoot him Matt a link on that.
Yeah, he's on his way home now.
Okay.
Um, I'll start off by saying I am by no means an expert in any of this stuff.
Nope.
Um, it's called amateur radio for a reason. Um, and I was just what kind of listening to a couple of guys talking about, they have more experience in this stuff than I do, and I've been kind of tailing this and following this and looking at this for close to a decade and understanding what's needed. And I'll warn anybody if you're looking into this, there are going to be a lot of people that are going to be gatekeeping information. They're not going to
Mm-hmm.
freely share information as easily as you may expect, which is kind of something that marvels me. They want people to get licensed, they want people to carry it on, but they, are hesitant on sharing information.
Yeah.
There's a number of ways you can get started, and I'll as I've shared with many other guys, there's a very easy way to get started with this. The ubiquitous Baofeng UV5R radio, those things are, you can get one for 20-25 bucks or less. Buying a radio and having a radio is one thing. Knowing how to proficiently use it, how to program it, and how to work with it is a completely different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do not get it and assume you can pull it out of the box and it's free and ready to go.
Right. Well, especially with the handhelds, the Bowfings especially.
Mm-hmm. Um, I'll what I would recommend, and I've recommended this to a number of people within our community already, is there's there is a license class called GMRS, General Mobile Radio Service. Go to the FCC, FCC.gov, type in GMRS, and it'll bring you to the ULS, Universal Licensing Service. You will be granted a federal radio license. You will be issued a call sign, much like your radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
With GMRS, I don't really play with it much. I have my license. I just don't ever use it. You can, as a GMRS operator, grants you privileges of using repeaters in your area. Other people put up repeaters, and you can start with those local repeaters. The nice thing is you buy your radio license for $35. There's no test involved. You can have your license, and if you have 5 or 6 brothers and sisters, they can all use your call sign. If you have kids, your kids can use your call sign.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a great way if you have, wife and kids or whatever it may be. Having your GMRS license, it's $35. Your license is good for 10 years. So that's $3.50 a year. So if you look at it that way, power goes out, tornado, blizzard, ice storm, hurricane, tropical storm, whatever it is, wherever you are, you can get those little Baofeng UV5Rs, and then it's like another $20, and you can get the, depending on which one you can get a USB rechargeable battery for it.
Mm-hmm.
And having that availability is one thing of having, a handful of those radios. Put them in a storage box, put them in a wooden trunk, put them in an empty ammo box you got. Make sure you charge them up every 3 to 6 months or so. Make sure the batteries are good. Do that. Play with them randomly every now and then. Make a family game out of it. Take them to a
Mm-hmm.
state park and play radio tag. Play, hide and seek in the park, and everybody has a radio. Do something
Well,
like that.
heck,
Play with
even
it.
go further with it. Do a POTUS.
Oh,
Parks on the air type thing. Hey, I'm at this park and I'm just checking my radio.
yeah. Well, that's a little more ham directed. I'm just thinking basic starter walkie-talkie style for families.
That's what
Or
I'm thinking too, though, because you're going to be in
yeah,
that range.
yeah. Or you can get a group of buddies together. take a piece of tape, write the call sign, and then put Alpha Bravo Charlie, A B C D E F G, label the radios, and just say, okay, you're hand out the radios to different people in your group, and you can test the range and test the limits of GMRS.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are companies where you can actually buy your own repeater.
Mm-hmm.
Case in
And then
point, let's say
there's
Tommy
crazy
and
bastards like me who are going to make a repeater.
yeah, buying one isn't that expensive. You can get one for under
Mm,
$500, which is pretty cheap, pretty easy to do.
right.
So, and case in point, let's say Tommy and I are, let's say we live in the same city, but we live on opposite sides of town, and we can usually get on a GMRS. It's more of a line of sight, like a walkie-talkie, but with a little bit more power.
Mm-hmm.
Your average little bubble pack Motorola talk about radios run half a watt,
Right.
maybe a watt if you're lucky.
Yeah. You're looking at about 5 miles reliably
In in perfect conditions.
in perfect conditions. Yep.
I would say
Two and
more
a half.
consistently. I would say more consistently those little talk about Motorola talk about radios. You're 1 to 2 miles tops.
Mm-hmm.
GMRS, on the other hand, you're limited to 50 watts.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have a greater range. I've used GMRS. I've talked to guys 20 miles away, but a lot of that relies on your antenna, and a lot of it relies on the type of radio you're using. Your
Mm. Yep.
handhelds are okay for local and immediate stuff within a mile or two. Then you get into a mobile radio, or you can get into a base station radio, which is a semi-permanent or permanent fixture in a home with an external antenna mounted outside. There are a
Mm-hmm.
lot of different styles of radios you can use, and what I would recommend. I've had this conversation with a couple of other guys. There's Walcott Radio has the Anytone 779 UV. It's $100. That's one of the first radios I would recommend anybody getting. Would be one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Go to Walcott Radio. It's $100 for the radio. That radio can either be programmed for GMRS or it can be programmed for ham,
Mm-hmm.
as a ham operator. So that's a dual purpose radio that you can pick up. That would be one of the first things I would recommend. Get about 4 or 6 handhelds and a GMR and that Anytone 779 mobile radio. You put it in a car, put it in a truck, put it on a battery box, put it on a table in your home, wherever. You can use that in a multitude of ways. Um, that's definitely the end. This is a little bit more than entry level. Entry level, handheld, simple, easy.
Right.
Then you can get a little bit more advanced with the GMRS. You can buy your own repeater, which is going to need its own antenna, which is going to double your range. Like I was
Yep.
saying, say Tommy and I are in 2 different sides of town. I know somebody in the middle that I can put up a repeater at his place. That just doubled our range.
Mm-hmm.
We can go about 5 miles either direction of that center located repeater
With the handhelds. Yep.
with the handhelds. So that's why I would recommend. I'm not saying get it all at once. I'm not saying get it all in one shot. Start building with little pieces. Start experimenting. Start playing with them.
Well, and definitely also understand what you want to do.
Right.
Make a plan.
Yeah. And figure out how you want to operate.
Right.
I myself, I'm a man packable portable. I like to put everything in a backpack, battery, everything, and just be able to walk out anywhere. Like Tommy's talking about Soda, POTA. Soda's Summit's on the air, POTA's
Mm-hmm.
Park's on the air. It's a ham
Yep.
radio thing. And that's mostly HF.
Yep.
HF is high frequency. Then there's VHF, UHF, which is your line of sight radios, like your
Right.
GMRS radios.
There's a lot of guys that do the 2 meter band with that kind of stuff just to play around, which is good
Yeah,
practice when you're talking about emergency stuff because your 2 meter bands anywhere from 50 to 75 mile radius, depending on where you can hit a repeater and elevation of that repeater.
right. And the one thing that I would strongly advocate is even if you have a handheld,
Hmm.
there are different. Ed Fong is one guy that makes them, and
Oh
the
yeah.
N9 TAX is another company that they make ladder line J pole antennas. It's a roll up
Hmm.
wire antenna. You can take a little string line from Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, cut it to about 100 foot, put a little fishing weight on the end of it. You can swing that fishing weight, throw it up in a tree, hoist that antenna up in the tree, VHF, UHF, or you get a little monkey's fist like Tommy's holding up there. Um, those are definitely beneficial to have with your radio bags.
Yep.
You can then hoist that antenna up in 20, 30 feet up in a tree or more.
Hmm.
Those are going to be very helpful to have. Now, when you get into those higher powered radios, you're going to need larger batteries.
Yep. You're going to need better antennas too.
Well, the N9TAX or the Edfong roll up J
Well,
pole,
those will do it. Those will do it.
I have six of them. They're
Hmm.
amazing.
Yep. No, they'll do the power. The big thing is to remember, don't overpower your antenna, because then now you've created a fire hazard. Radio frequency energy is real, and it
Oh, Sean.
it gets
All right,
hot.
Sean. Yeah. Well, that's like the N9TAX and the Edfong antennas, I believe, will run up to 100 watts.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, there's Sean.
And you really
Yep.
don't need much more than 25 to 50.
No, no. It gets your headroom, but try to budget what you're doing, because you're going to last a lot longer at 25-watt transmission rate than you
Hmm.
will at 100-watt, because you're just burning juice at that point.
Right. And that's the thing is you want to conserve the power that you have in your battery, number one.
Hmm.
And you only want to use as much power as you need to get the signal to transmit and get your signal through.
Right.
I've been building. I spent countless hours this year alone building my own battery boxes. They're pretty easy to do. They're a little intimidating, but not bad. Kind of
Yep.
putsy. Dakota Lithium. They're lithium iron phosphate batteries. They're about half the weight of a lithium ion battery. What do
In
you got there?
something like
Oh,
this little thing. Well,
was that
these
an
are just
186 eight
these.
little 1860? Yeah, 650s.
No, these are yep, 18650s, but these are full lithium ion Samsungs. They're
Okay.
the good ones. I've got a
Yep.
couple of them.
Yeah. I got a couple boxes of those sitting around. That's what I use for powering all my lights. And
Hmm.
I'll have to look and pull up the. I have a USB charger for those specifically that'll also do double A's, triple A's,
Mm.
CR123As. It'll charge all of those off of a USB.
Yeah, I've got a it's only a 4 cell, but it's a mains connected one, but it'll actually recognize them, and then you can actually choose to do lithium iron phosphates.
Yeah, yeah. Um, I
It's
have
a
one that'll
nice
do.
little unit.
Yeah, I have one that'll do an auto select. You put it in and
Hmm.
it'll run through and check it and test it, and then it'll charge optimally.
Right. Well, this one will do everything but the lithium iron phosphate. You have to choose that one manually.
Okay. There's so many different types of chargers out
Oh
there,
yeah.
but
And
the
one
reason.
of the big things too that with that, Nate, is you can actually build charging units that are built into your box,
Mhm.
and they've got balancers that you can buy that are very cheap actually. You can get a charger balancing thing for each of your different cells, build them into your box, weld the cells together in whatever configuration you need to do, and you've got whatever money in your cells, your case, and then a little charge balancing unit that costs maybe $20. They're available on DigiKey,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
they're not that difficult. And you can plug it in with USB-C, or you can do a mains connection.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, yeah.
and that's where
I'm
I
thinking.
come in, guys.
Yeah,
I'm the guru on that shit.
yeah. I'm thinking you get a go to Dakota Lithium batteries,
Mm-hmm.
12 volt, 10 amp hour battery. Boom. You buy it, you drop it in an ammo box. You
Yep.
can build that ammo box out for however you see fit, for powering anything or charging anything.
Mm-hmm.
I have mine set up with Anderson power poles, USB A and USB C built in.
Yep.
I can charge it through the Anderson. I can get a full 14.5 volts through Anderson to run any of my ham radios.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to get too far too fast. Having that set up, that'll work great for your mobile radios for GMRS. And the other nice thing is having your GMRS, you can give that out to family and you can legally have your family run your call sign on it. You can use that to network your local group. Once you have that done and established, you have people with different radios and different battery boxes set up. Different antennas is going to be a little challenging depending on what you're doing. Having a man pack, little shoulder sling bag, battery, radio, like that N9 TAX or the Edfong and
Mm-hmm.
roll up J pole antenna. You can throw that up in a tree. It'll work. You get the adapters where you can plug a handheld into it, which will greatly increase the range and the
Mm-hmm.
efficiency and the effectiveness of a handheld radio. These are all little intermittent things and simple things that you can actually play with and modify your kit.
Mm-hmm.
But definitely keep that J pole on hand. You can get a 2 meter, 70 centimeter slash GMRS uh, metal whip antenna for your vehicle where you can plug your radio into your vehicle and drive and have that radio as a function to listen or to talk to people and find out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Now, on top of that, what you're going to want to have at home for a just in case scenario and situation, it's called a Yagi antenna. If anybody remembers the old TV antennas on rooftops, they're very much like that.
And they're
They will
not.
get
They haven't stopped using them, dude. They are out
Oh,
there
the one that looks
all
like
over
a
the
spine.
place. Well, it looks
yes,
like a V. Yep, the V thing,
or
and a
it'll look like a
directional.
spine with ribs on it.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, spine with some
Um,
ribs that don't
mhm,
connect to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like
right.
somebody got blood winged.
Pretty much. And Yagi antennas are great for home for a number of reasons. Number one, they are directional.
Yep.
You can focus all of your power and you can direct everything directly in about a 15-20 degree spread.
Depending on the Yagi, you can get a 30-degree.
Yeah, I mean there are anomalies like that, but
Yeah.
comfortably speaking, if you focus on a 15 to 20, if you were to put your thumbs, your pointer finger and your thumbs together and line it up, that's going to be about a 15 to 20 degree spread.
Mm-hmm.
If you can point that direction towards where you want to transmit, that is a good rule of thumb and a simple way to know
Mm-hmm.
what direction you're transmitting and receiving from.
Yep.
So
And if
that's
you
about your
set it up,
margin of error.
well, and if you set it up before stuff goes wrong, there are lots of little cell phone apps you can get that'll direct you to where your TV or your radio towers are, so you can get information from them with your Yagi antenna.
Yeah, you can get better reception on a Yagi from a greater distance.
Mm-hmm.
But oftentimes, from my limited experience, most Yagis are built band specific.
Yes. Yes, they are. They
So
very much are.
there are a couple of antennas that are. If anybody has any more questions on this, most of you guys are watching are ungilded, so shoot me a message and I can definitely start directing you a couple of different ways. But yeah, keep a Yagi at home, a roll up J pole,
Mm-hmm.
and then having that metal whip on a vehicle. You can mag mount it. You can even take that whip antenna, put it on a tripod, stand it up, run some coax.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be omnidirectional, which means multiple directions at once, not just a single direction. So those are just getting you started into GMRS.
Mm-hmm.
Those are all things you can run in the GMRS license. Like I said, it's $35. Go to the FCC's website, type in GMRS. It'll direct you into the Universal Licensing System, ULS. pick GMRS, fill out the application, pay the $35, give them about 5 days or less, and you'll get an email back from the FCC granting you your license, print it out, you're good for 10 years. And that gets
Mm-hmm.
you, your kids, your immediate siblings, your immediate family. And like what's going on with the hurricane, you can use, you and your family can use that for getting around your neighborhood, small locations, small corners, advocate for your neighbors and other people to get theirs. Dude, it's $35.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And a
I
hundred
mean,
dollar radio.
exactly. $100 radio. The J pole I think is $30 for the J pole antenna,
Mm-hmm.
and you can even hang that J pole from the ceiling at home. You can hang it from a
Yep.
tree. You can hang that J pole just about anywhere, and
If you
that
got a
gets you started.
flagpole, if you got a flagpole, you can run it up that flagpole.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, those are instantaneous options to get a signal in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Then, um, getting into ham radio. There's technician, general, and amateur extra. I'm just a technician now. I'm working on my general. There is a test. 90% of the information for the technician test is policy, procedural, law, rules, regulations. There's a little bit of electronics in there,
Mm-hmm.
but very, very, very minimal. And a lot of the stuff is stuff you're going to need to know to be a functional operator. Then, if you guys have any questions, shoot me a message on Gilded. I can direct you towards antennas you can use for GMRS and for ham.
Mm-hmm.
The little Anytone radio. If you want the link for that, send me a message. I'll get you a link to the radio where I've bought my radios. I think I have 3 or 4 of them, all set up in different bags. But what you can do as a technician, you can have your GMRS license where you can use for your family in your community, in your neighborhood. Then you can use your ham, which will get you a greater distance.
Mm-hmm.
So these are different levels and different categories of licenses that you can get. And then the general class gets you more HF privileges. Amateur extra gets you more HF privileges. And it's just narrowing your scope of your when I say band scope or your band, it's the frequency ranges you are allowed to legally operate in.
Mm-hmm.
When you get into being a
As an
ham operator,
amateur, as an amateur, by the way.
correct. And the one cool thing about being an amateur radio operator is you can start experimenting with your own antennas.
Mm-hmm.
You can build and make your own antennas legally.
Mm-hmm.
And you are granted a federal communication license by the FCC, by the federal government. As long as you operate within your band, you're good. You can do whatever, politely speaking, you can operate and try different things in any band as long as you play within the boundaries they set for you.
Right.
So having that GMRS is like having your little bubble pack walkie-talkie radios. That'll work for your little group in your immediate area. GMRS will get you your city, your county, possibly your state. Ham will get you regional, nationwide, and global.
Mm-hmm.
I've been very lucky this past couple of weeks. I've been able, I'm near Lake Michigan. I was able to hold a conversation with guys in Moscow and St. Petersburg, Russia, with a 10-watt HF radio.
Mm-hmm. Now give us a caveat. Come on.
But I was using 10 meters as a technician, which is only functional during the day. And and these are things you have to learn what bands work best at different times of day in different environments. And with that, one of the caveats on that is solar weather, upper atmospherics. You need to have an understanding of all that. And they walk you through a little bit of that with the technician test. They get more in depth on the general test, but it's fairly simple to do. And once you understand that, you're going to start paying attention to solar weather. You're going to start paying attention to geomagnetic storms. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
start focusing on all these little caveats and all these little details. With a geomagnetic storm, stuff that brings the northern lights, you can get an extended range on VHF, UHF, GMRS, higher frequencies. You can get
Mm-hmm.
a greater distance with your antennas. I've talked to a guy on 2 meters with a Yagi at 250 miles away, which is almost unheard of.
Yeah, it's not normally possible.
Normally, 50 to 100 miles is what I would expect.
Well, and 100 is a stretch, real
Yeah.
stretch.
Yeah. Um, being able with it as a ham, you're going to notice a lot more of what you can do with different frequencies, HF, in the right weather conditions, solar conditions. You can go global. Like I did it with 5 watts. I did it with 10 watts.
Mm-hmm.
I can talk to somebody close to 5,000 miles away with less than 10 watts of power off
Yep.
of a battery. So,
Eh,
and I've talked to guys in North Carolina, in Georgia, and they've told me what's going on and what they're seeing in their area, wanting to get messages out. Yeah, that happens, and that's radiograms, and that's stuff you'll get into understanding when you go
Mm-hmm.
for the technician exam. But start small, start real small,
Yep.
and get comfortable with your equipment. What are the limits and the regulations, and what you can and can't do. Don't think you're just going to buy a radio, stick it in a box, and pull it out when you need it,
Mm-mm.
because there's a very steep learning curve.
Yep. There is.
Yeah, it's not what is it, plug and play.
No, they're
No,
not.
it is. No, they're not. Um,
No. And I've gone even steeper learning curve with what I'm doing.
yeah. But having the basic functions of a GMRS license, because we all know cell towers go down, cell networks have
Mm-hmm.
problems, radios don't.
On
So,
that note, one of the videos that I caught today, it was right out of the, what is it, Lure Lake there in
yep.
western North Carolina. There was a search and rescue outfitter gal talking about it, and they actually had lost their cell towers
Huh?
before they lost electrical power.
Mm-hmm.
So these are one of the things and that doesn't make sense because your cell towers are backed up with batteries usually
Or generators.
or generators, and it didn't work that way with their situation for whatever reason. So the ham radio stuff that we're talking about, or even the handheld walkie-talkie stuff, that's going to work regardless. Whether you can get your signal out is a different story, and that's where your base stations, your better antennas that you can throw up in a tree to help boost your signal, that's where all that stuff comes in. And go ahead, Nate. Um, Here in the Northwest, it seems like I'm sitting in a bit of a hole myself. I see some stuff I don't get a lot of. I'll get one-sided conversations. That's one thing you will notice with radio. It just all depends on what's going on. And what is she whining about there, Sean?
I have no idea. It is
Oh.
annoying the shit out of me though.
Nate, did we lose you, or did I just annoy you so you don't want to talk to us anymore? Eh, he'll be back. How's the chili?
Sorry about that. Having to give the bribe. Um, don't know yet. It's probably going to be okay. I didn't put much spice in it because kiddo probably doesn't want that.
Mm.
And when I asked him, "What do you want in it?" It's like, "Go away, Dad. I'm busy."
Oh,
It's like,
jeez.
well,
On
fucking
his
fine
damn
then.
game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
we've been fighting too often on letting this kind of slide.
yeah. You need to get that boy a job.
Well, he's 14. He's not very far away from being eligible by the Department of Labor.
Well, 14 at home, you can do all kinds of stuff. He could start chopping wood and selling it. Of course, you're
I
in an apartment. I
think
know, a
we get,
condo.
yeah, I think we get fined if we start chopping trees down and nobody has a wood stove.
Yeah.
If not by the city, then by the HOA. And the HOA and I are, we are not on friendly terms.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's another thing actually that should be discussed about this with the antennas and whatnot. If you're in an HOA, you got to really watch what you can put up for an antenna and how you do it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, because I don't even think there's any satellite dishes for satellite TV on
Mm-hmm.
any of
no.
the units. I never thought about that until now. I've never noticed it.
Yeah, it's that's a real sticky
At
point.
least not on the buildings. I think somebody has one in the backyard area, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe they get it routed through a window or one of their pieces of wall.
Yeah.
Um, but I do know when the power was out for several days here, there are some dudes who put their generator in their garage, um, crack the garage door, and they
Yeah.
use that for their power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um all right, I'm going to pull up a couple of little things here. Um let's see.
See, I told you I didn't piss him off enough to lose us.
No, he said BRB in the private chat. I thought you saw.
Oh, I didn't see it because
Yeah.
I wasn't looking at it. I was looking at the YouTube chat.
All right, this right here is a Dakota lithium. It's a lithium iron phosphate battery. This battery weighs 5 pounds or less.
Mm-hmm.
Um you can get comfortably 3 days of sun up till sundown radio operation and radio function.
Mm-hmm.
Off of this little battery, you can get a solar charge controller, and you can charge this battery with a foldable or collapsible solar panel. The charge time will depend on the size and the wattage of the panel you get.
Mm-hmm.
I have 5 of these built into ammo boxes and set up the way I like. I can throw them in a small fly fishing shoulder sling bag, and that will allow me to be able to run my radio out of that same bag with the I'll show you the radio here. Walcott Radio. This is the website I mentioned earlier. Anytone AT779UV, 25 watt UHF radio. It will do 2 meters and 70 centimeters, and also GMRS is 462 to 467 megahertz.
Mm-hmm.
You can start this as a GMRS radio, get your ham license, and then you can switch it over to being a ham radio, and it's only $100. The size of this radio is roughly, I would say, 4 by 6. So you got I'd say 4.5, 5 inches across, and then you're about 4 inches deep, and top to bottom, it's only about an inch thick.
Mm-hmm.
You can put that in a pocket. You can put that in a cargo pocket and walk away with it.
Mm-hmm.
So this little radio, you pair this radio with that Dakota battery, which will work great for you. And then what you would want to do is pair it with the N9TAX Labs, this antenna. This is a ladder line J pole. It's about 6 feet tall. You can pick the fittings you need to set up for the radio you purchase. You can take something as simple as a little cable tie or cable strap that you use to secure like satellite or cable TV cords to your baseboards or the base of a wall, with that tiny little finish nail in there, you stick that into the ceiling, you can hang that antenna inside of a room and it will work perfectly and nobody will even know you have it. This antenna will roll up to roughly a 6-inch diameter by about three quarters of an inch in thickness. This is going to be one of your most universal antennas, and you can use different adapters. You can have it made with a specific adapter. The PL259 one right here is the same one that's on that Anytone radio, and you can get that on that antenna, and then you can have there's different fittings that you can take and screw in and connect here to connect your handheld antenna to, or your handheld radio to this antenna. This is the antenna you're going to want to run. You can take a little arborist line or even a little string line. Go to your local hardware store. They have those string lines for a level line. Buy one of the little spools, and it's like $10 or less. Measure out about 100 foot of it and tie a loop. Put a little weight on it. Throw it in a tree. You can hoist this up into a tree, and this will get you a much greater range and distance for your handheld or with that 779 mobile radio. So you can put all this in a single bag, put it in a pouch, put it in a day pack. You're not even going to know what's in there. All of this weighs almost nothing. So these are things that are going to definitely expand what you can do and what functions you are capable of doing depending on what license you have. And like I said, getting your ham license is one thing, or getting your GMRS license is one thing. Then being able to have your ham license will allow you to use your GMRS for your local family and your little group. And then what you can do is you can take that GMRS, use it for your local group, and then have your ham license and extend your range of communication of getting word out and getting word in. So that's going to greatly improve your chances of survival and getting word out in just about any situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for the battery box right now to give you guys an idea. I'm trying to multitask here, so trying to talk to everybody and keep.
No worry. We got
Yeah.
whiners talking about shit in the chat here. No big deal.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, Cliff, he's telling us all these other guys are streaming at the same time. Well, they didn't coordinate with us, and if you don't want to talk about radio, then go to them.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
know,
people go elsewhere. That's fine.
yeah, we're not worried about it. This
No,
ain't
not
no
at all.
funky show. This ain't no entertainment. This is information, is what we're doing.
Yeah, people can do their thing. Do what appeals to them. Do their own fun thing.
And we don't want to interfere with Pop's show tonight either. And he's got a hell of a show going on.
Yeah. I got an email from the captain earlier about it.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to find just to okay, here it is. Battery box. I don't know why it's not pulling it up for me.
St. Louis Arch.
Yeah,
I love it.
What's it back on board? 12-volt batteries. Maybe I can find it this way. Oh, yep, here it is. Sorry, guys, I got home late and wasn't exactly sure what time we were going to start this.
Oh, I thought we talked about 4 o'clock, so that's why I went ahead and started it. Oh, shit. We got people.
Holy shit, you remembered
Good evening, guys.
What's up, man?
Well, you guys weren't popping off on the YouTube. That's all I was looking at.
Well,
I have returned from my little journey in hell.
yeah,
Nice.
I am just trying to listen in and do better things and all that stuff. I'm just lucky I remember to go to church, you know?
So
Yeah.
update if anybody wants to hear anybody's radio people.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shit's going up Shit's Creek real quick. I'm sorry for the bad language here, but stuff's going up creek. So earlier today, the county, Redwood County, has no more gas and diesel. Boats were called upon to move gas and diesel across. I don't know if that was successful, and there was an excavator on a semi truck coming from was it Cobb County, Georgia. Lost communication around 2:30 this afternoon, and they do not know where that truck went.
Mm.
This
So
is
strange.
all
You guys have National Guard presence down there?
very few and far between.
Because they should be activated for this kind of
This is what they do.
crisis.
Very
Well,
few and far between. What I was seeing, I went up there via car today, or my friend's Jeep. Very few and far between. We're seeing it's a lot of destruction, but we didn't get a chance to go into the hollers. But it's more of just we were in the outside area. FEMA's everywhere. FEMA took over the Walmart down there. They do have supplies to give you, but you have to come to them. As far as them harassing us, we did not get harassed by them today. It was just kind of like, just kind of go with the flow today.
mhm.
We didn't go there to make trouble. I got a couple of pictures. I don't know if I sent that on there. Well, I'm sorry for coming on here and kind of taking over the radio stuff, but
No. This is all
It's
has to
very
do with
relevant.
yeah,
it
I went up
has
there
to
with the
do with
Bayo
the
Fangs, just
shortwave.
keeping an eye on what was going on out there.
Exactly. You're giving us real world examples.
Yeah, like we
Yeah.
talked about like we talked about before, Matt. This is definitely real world applications of this stuff.
Yeah.
All right, here, just to give everybody a rough idea. Dakota Lithium has a 10 amp hour battery box right here,
Mhm.
and then your $90 to buy the charger to charge the battery inside the box. This is your little your small ammo box. That's what this is made in. They made the entire thing. There's videos on YouTube where you can look it up and you can figure out how to build your own, and you can mount your own switches, and you can power your own. If you want to put a light on it, you can. If not, you don't have to. But inside that battery box is this battery right here. This battery is about 3 inches across here, left to right. It's about 8 inches across here, and it's about 6 inches tall. And this battery, you can buy this battery $70. You can buy two of them. There's a 2-pack they were selling for around $100.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a little bit of practice, but once you know how to make the battery box, you're good. This battery paired with this radio and paired with this antenna, the N9TAX ladder line J-pole antenna, you can, like I said, you can mount this in a bedroom, in an office, in a spare room, in a hallway, in a closet. This will work. There's a GMRS antenna for GMRS frequencies, and then there's a ham version this is the ham version for 2 meter and 70 centimeter for ham radio. I would recommend the 16-footer so you have the extra coax and height for throwing a weight up into a tree to hoist the antenna further up. With 2 meter and 70 centimeter, you're going to get line of sight. This will get you usually around your state, maybe around your region if you're near a state border. But you'll be able to get it poured out, be able to hear things, and this will work very well for you for about $35. The radio is about $100. Like I showed, the battery $70. So what, $200? You can pick up a radio and you can listen. Even if you don't get your GMRS license, and if you do not have a license, do not transmit, but you can listen.
Mm.
The other thing I would strongly suggest and recommend is an emergency radio, a shortwave radio, something that will allow you to listen to air traffic control, something that will allow you to listen to shortwave. That will be a great way of gathering information to find out what's going on. So many people rely on their cell phone and cell phone only.
Mm-hmm.
Your cell towers go down, you get nothing. It's just a really expensive paperweight.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's the current case right now. There is zero cell phone reception service because it is the mountains, and also the cell phone towers are no longer working at this time.
Yep.
The only thing that is working is there is only one repeater on the hill on the mountain, and that is the repeater everybody's pinging at the same time. So it does get pretty hectic during the day. You get random transmissions, but that's what we're getting right now at this time.
Mm-hmm.
And
In the private chat, if you can, give me the call sign of that private the repeater. I'll look it up.
Sure. You're gonna try to ping it now and see what you can hear.
No, I'm gonna pull it up on repeater book.
Okay, give me 1 second. Let me look up the name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna log into repeater book right now.
What's your overall goal with everything here, man? Like, what are you trying to do?
Well, the goal is there are a lot of people right now. I've talked to people in Georgia. I've talked to people in Tennessee and Western North Carolina. People who have HF radios. We've talked on 10 meters, and they were asking me to get word out to their family, pull a radiogram. Hey, can you call, so and so? Their phone number is 555-1234.
Yeah.
We don't have phone service. I have family that I'm assuming is worried about me, and they can't. I want to make sure that they get word. We haven't talked to them since this whole thing started.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please get a word out
that we're okay?
Mm-hmm. Right. And so the goal of this is to focus on telling people that there are other ways to get out. You can get your GMRS license for $35. You can set up a local group, a little talk group. You can get your own repeater on GMRS, and you can legally run that.
Okay,
your GMRS license. Yeah, I got it. Your GMRS license, you can share with your immediate family, significant others, things like that. You can share that legally without having a problem, which would give you your own little group, your own little chat group to talk to. Neighbors, whatever, if they have their license, you can do that. That is a great way to get people started, to teach them the little things about using a radio, teaching them how to program their Bofang radios, how to use your little cheap handheld radios. Then, once you understand how to program and how to use those, because you can't just pull them out of the box and just use it. They're not plug and play like a cell phone.
No, the easiest way is with Chirp.
You're getting a little. You start with GMRS.
Yeah.
Study for your tech. Learn while you have your GMRS. Play with the radio. Learn how it works according to the laws, rules, and regulations of GMRS.
Yep.
And you can then understand when they talk about an offset. What is an offset? How does it work? What's a plus? What's the difference between a plus and a minus offset? What is a PL tone? Why are those important? Mm-hmm. You need those with GMRS. You can use your GMRS license to talk to your local group. You can get your ham license and talk to other ham operators and still maintain your GMRS separate group. So if you're talking to your group, you don't have to tie up a ham frequency while doing your small inner group stuff.
I don't know. Okay, so all right. Sorry, I'm listening. I'm just trying not to add thoughts and stuff while you're trying to.
No, so, the thoughts are fine. Just don't get confusion.
Yeah, and we're trying to keep this very basic as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's different programs. Yes, you can do this. Yeah, this radio will do this, that, and the other thing. Yeah, I understand there's all those little differences and caveats and all these little accentuating points. Yes, those all matter, but on a crude point of somebody who is not a radio operator that has no background in any of this, this is the simplest way to get started.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
let me see if I can. Hold on, I got my actual bow thing over here. Give me a second.
Yeah, and I was
Okay.
gonna ask Nate, you mind cracking open that, cracking into that and see what you hear? Because I'm hearing some stuff over here too.
I would have to use Echolink to pull up that repeater. I'm looking through right now. Okay,
Hold
it is
on.
an Echolink.
I can.
It is an Echolink repeater.
Here, let me do Echo Link right now. Here, let's see if I can pull it up myself. No, like just we're talking about the basics with the radio.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let all this bullshit here confuse anybody. But very basic.
Oing, oing.
People can understand how to turn it on and go through the different like functions a little bit. That helps out, and all that good stuff.
Yeah, and
I think that could be part of it. What am I going repeaters? And what am I looking for? And
Well, the
Don't
one I
don't-
sent, see if
don't
you can
get
pull it up.
yourself in a tizzy, dude.
yeah, just and that's what I'm trying to do is to keep everything simple.
Yeah, this is just general information type discussion, guys.
Yeah, this is
okay. Well, it's all good stuff. I am having. I can't even find that local repeater on the Echo Link here.
Yeah, it's not even letting me pull it up on Echolink either.
Is that the correct thing I gave you, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at. I have on one screen. I have repeater book open. It lists it as an Echolink repeater.
Okay.
That's the right frequency. If I turn
Right.
my radio to that frequency, I'm not going to hear anything.
Okay.
That is beyond line of sight for me. In order to get to that repeater's location, I need HF.
Mm-hmm.
Or you need a powerful. Not even that, but it's probably not even letting us. What's the area that you're in? That this is in?
That is in Mount Mitchell. That's the only repeater into the mountains.
Yeah, don't swamp it, guys.
Well, no. Us just chiming in and just listening and monitoring won't swamp it.
Okay.
Yeah. I want you. Please do not. Anyone here do not. And I repeat, do not transmit on there. That is the only, and I mean only, lifeline right now to the outside world. If you jam it up, people will die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, there's only a few of us on here.
Hey, I got it. You got to put in Mount Mitchell into the thing, okay? It's on.
Yeah.
It's KW4. Just listen. Don't transmit like everybody.
Yeah, I just say, no, please. You can listen, take down notes because you're hearing lots of live data right now going through there. Okay. Earlier today, there's been reports of people finding people dead. If you want to hear stuff like that, if you want to hear about like the truck gang stuff, do not transmit, but you can listen and hear what's really going on out there. I'm telling you, man, it's if you want to see the version of hell going out there, take a car and get out there for a day.
Hey,
okay.
It's denied, man. We can't connect to it.
What do you mean connect?
All right. I have my AirPod in one ear. I have Echolink open on my phone. I type in that specific repeater. I put it in. It says no repeater found. They must have disabled Echolink to that repeater, even though it's listed as an Echolink repeater. If we are not in that, if you're not within line of sight, you're not going to be able to hear that.
Sorry about that, man.
No.
Are they doing that to reduce the amount of possible traffic going in?
Possibly.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And
There,
let's
well,
not think. Sorry, Nate. Go on.
Echolink, All-Star, these are all different internet protocol radio operations and radio functions. Once you have your ham license, you will have access to doing these things. There's apps that you actually need a license, an FCC issued call sign to access these.
Mm-hmm.
Any other day, I could pull up any other. I could literally go to a net an Echolink repeater in just about any city, in just about any state. If it's linked with Echolink, I open the Echolink app, I punch in the repeater, hit connect, and it will connect me to that repeater.
Mm-hmm.
Nate's such a
So
Via the internet.
here.
via the internet.
Yeah,
Let me
via the
try some-
internet, exactly.
Here, let me try something else here.
Can you hit that on a HT from your home?
No. Not
We should
me.
be able to. We're pretty close.
I'm not me. I'm like that's like 100 effing miles away, almost 250 miles away. You know, I'm not hitting that without like running
not with
interference from a bunch of other things, even if I had the
Not-
appropriate station.
I mean,
Where I am, I
if-
can get scratches. I can just get basic like little scratches here and there.
okay.
Hold on
I
a
mean, if
second.
you had elevation and a Yagi antenna, yeah, you could do it.
Mhm.
And that's
Yep.
kind of what we briefly went over previously.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, you guys are, those that are watching this are actually seeing two guys in the general area of this repeater, but they can't I can't remotely connect to it,
Mm-hmm.
and these guys aren't close enough to be able to reach it. And this is why I was mentioning having different styles of antenna.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's important. But you also have to realize, and I realize I get frustrated quite easily if you guys hadn't caught on.
Yeah, I
So,
can
like,
see that.
when you do your shit and you realize this fucking piece of shit, I'm going to throw it away. You got to realize what's your environment, what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
what's different. Maybe you're not a complete dumbass. You're just impatient. And you just didn't set the wire right, didn't put the ground in right, or just didn't do something right. I don't do. There's just all sorts of variables, and it takes operating just
And
quite often.
that
Really,
goes
just
back to
the only way to really become a good operator is to really just operate. There's no
and that
no
goes back to the
button.
point that I made previously of just buying the radio and leaving it in the box does nothing for you.
Mm-hmm.
You need to actually open the box up, start with your GMRS license number 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's $35. You can work simplex, which is a simple frequency back and forth, or you can do duplex with GMRS repeaters. You can work with those in your area, which will teach you how to program your radio, teach you how to do PL tones in your radio, and that will get you functional. You need to be a functional operator to do this kind of stuff. There is a learning curve to this. You can't just buy it and expect it to work.
Mm-hmm.
Just keeping it in the box. Now, I'm going to pull up a, let's see here. This is going to be, I showed you guys the N9 TAX ladder line antenna. That's a great antenna. You can put it in a bag, put it in a pocket. All right. This one, the AY04 high gain Yagi antenna. This will do 2 meters. It will also do 70 centimeters for ham, but it will also do GMRS.
Mm-hmm.
So you can buy this antenna, put it on a tripod, leave this at home, and point it in a specific direction. This is the exact same antenna that I'm in Wisconsin. I talked to a guy in Nebraska with this antenna.
Which one?
This one right here, the AY04.
Oh,
I have
oh, nice.
Well, okay, let me ask you a
Yes,
question. If you're able to hear another person on the radio, but you can't hear the repeater where I am.
that's because that was done during a geomagnetic storm where
Mm-hmm.
we had tropospheric ducting that was able to take my 2 meter signal up into the troposphere and bounce it down somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
That's that's a unicorn event. It almost
Yeah.
never happens.
Yeah. It
Do
was a
not
special,
expect that was a special occasion.
right.
Don't count on that being a regular thing. In
The
order to
thing
go,
is, guys, 2 meter is literally just treated as line of sight.
yes,
Yes.
You
70 centimeter.
will, yeah, and 70 centimeters, same thing, line of
Mm-hmm.
sight.
Yes,
If you treat it like that and then you get a special event like this,
awesome.
awesome. Yeah, exactly.
Um, but if you use this antenna, like I said, with you can use this radio with that antenna, GMRS or ham.
Hmm.
This radio is maximum 25 watts. Okay. Now, this radio here, if you look at the specifications, and this is where it gets a little technical in understanding things. All right, Tommy,
Hmm.
for every 3 dB of gain, you double your power, correct?
Yes. If I
So
remember correct, that is correct. Yes.
if you have a 9.5 dB of gain on 2 meters and 11.5 dB of gain on 70 centimeters,
Hmm.
you take a comfortable 10 dB of gain,
Hmm.
and you're using a 25 watt radio.
Right.
You're push the person receiving, it's basically giving you the equivalent of a 250 watt signal, correct?
Hmm. Yes, I believe that is correct.
So if you can take a 25 watt radio and make it with this antenna, make it a 250 watt transmitter,
Hmm.
that is where you can make up your extra 50, 20, 40, 50, 60, maybe 70 miles into a repeater
Hmm.
with this antenna set up at home.
And this is something we need to get into later, which is the black magic of dB and antenna gain and transmitting
Right.
powers.
But
These
this
things
is,
are literally black magic, guys.
yes, they are. Now, and
Mhm.
this, and there's a reason why I recommend doing this.
Hmm.
Having a Yagi antenna like this, because in situations where they're just outside of reach, you can just hear that scratchy repeater. You switch to a Yagi antenna, you got them.
Hmm.
This will get you that little bit extra. This is the right tool for the right job, and this is
Right.
the right tool for that job.
It's going to give you a cone direction with
Yes,
a pretty
about a
flat
15-20
plane.
degree,
Yep.
15-20 degree spread, and you're going to basically be able to focus it line of sight, pointing it in a general direction.
Yep. And you can raise its elevation or you can de-elevate its elevation to get the direction you need. If you're in a high point, you want to drop the nose of it. If you're in a low point, you probably want to
Yep.
bring it up a little bit.
Yeah. Now, I showed you the N9TAX, the J-pole ladder line antenna. You have that. You have the Yagi antenna right there. Now the other one would be this one right here. This is a diamond antenna. I have two of these. It says dual band 2 meters 70 centimeter. The
I've
Mhm.
seen
70
those.
centimeter,
They are quite good.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I have two of them. They're absolutely phenomenal antennas. This is the one that you can mount on a vehicle. You can put this on a mirror mount. You can they make different style you can go to Diamond's website and you can find them with different connectors on it. You can get a little lip mount for on a trunk of a car, mirror mount. You can do a bunch of different ways of mounting this antenna. You can put it on a tripod at home if you so choose.
That's a
This is an
collinear dipole, isn't it?
I don't know.
I'm looking at it and it says collinear. Yeah, that's a collinear dipole. These things
Okay.
aren't easy to make, by the way. That's a good antenna.
Yeah, I know it's a good. I have two of them, and they're rock solid.
Mm-hmm.
The, um, okay, okay.
Um,
I'm
these are
listening.
they're great antennas. $50 for an antenna. You can mount this on a vehicle. You can mount it on a mag mount. It has the bottom of this antenna has a PL259 connector. So anything that little PL259 coax connector, like I showed you on the N9 TAX antenna. I'll pull that up here again,
How
just so
far is
I'm
the
not
range?
on which. And here's the PL259 connector right here. That's what it looks like on the bottom of that antenna.
And
And
there's no way to set a range for that,
With
honestly.
with UHF VHF, the best way to get your maximum range and distance is elevation,
Mm-hmm.
which is why I recommended the N9 TAX, because you can string that up into a tree and pull it down and walk away with it.
Mm-hmm.
I am.
I mean, if I got to go out and shoot a video where I actually start deploying some of these things and show people how it works, I'll do it. I know there's a ton of ham guys out there that do the same stuff.
But you have to do
Um,
it in your full armor.
no,
Exactly.
no,
No, the armor is for the ground.
Well, that's why you have to get the hell away from the antenna.
yeah, exactly.
Don't stand near me. Not near me. Right now, my local repeater just there ain't. I don't hear anything going on my local repeater, but I can actually on that. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like a goofy little ding dong. But
Yeah.
So I'm pulled up. I pulled up the repeater in Mount Mitchell. It's right now they're talking about getting some supplies from a church onto the road. The church has some supplies. They're picking some up right now via truck.
so
Good.
basically, just to let you know, like, are you picking it up on your radio?
No, I have using the internet.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, I can't.
The only thing I wish is that I may need to forward this to you. I'm hearing sometimes in the background some Morse code. I need somebody who knows how to translate that because I think these are distress calls. I can't tell what these
No.
are.
Most of the time on most of your 2 meter repeaters, any and all stations have to identify as every 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time you'll hear when someone's talking, like you hear the CW in the bass or in the background of it. That's that's the Morse code repeater ID.
Mm-hmm.
so it's probably not what you as bad as you might think it might be
Nope.
right now. So it's
Nope.
just federal regulation that you're listening to,
Mhm.
and for the most part, now how are you? We can't pull it up on the computer, but you can listen to it through the computer.
He's
Yeah.
probably closs enough. They probably have it geo-locked. Anybody outside the area can't access it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. I mean I get it. It's not like I can fucking do anything. The problem I have is that oh I don't know. It's just a
Hey buddy, you can pull it up on the internet too. You're close enough.
well no. It's just I don't know what site you're using.
Oh, I'm using Broadcastify.
Oh yeah, okay. So these are the simple things to get guys started. Um, getting these are the simple things. You can buy the radio, buy the battery, buy the antennas. You can use all of them for GMRS. You can get started. You can work with a mobile radio in a vehicle, at home, or in a backpack. You can also pair that mobile radio with handheld little UV. There's a Bofang UV5R that's set for GMRS, and you can keep those. Like I said, kids, siblings, maintain that license. That's one set that you can have maintained for emergency purposes. Someone's gonna go out. Say you got 10 acres of land. You're a rancher, something like that. You have someone that wants to go around and check, and you don't want to be on a phone because power is out. Use your GMRS.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that's used for. Now, if you want to connect with the municipality in your area, that's where you're going to be better off being a ham radio operator. And you can quite literally use that Anytone radio, and you can actually start connecting with municipalities, with larger repeaters, and then you start getting into things of linked repeater systems. Some states have linked repeaters that go through the entire state. Some do, some don't. You need to figure out what works in your area. These are things that everybody is pretty much thrown to the wayside, and until situations like this, now everybody wants to know how it works and expects it to just, if I go out and buy everything, I can unbox it and it's going to work. I'll tell you right now, no, it's not. There is a learning curve.
Yeah. This isn't a cell phone.
So, and this is going to be the simplest way to get started with the least amount of work, time, effort, and energy on your part.
Mm-hmm.
You do not have to study for a GMRS license. Once you're licensed, it's good for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the simplest way
Okay.
to start.
Okay, there we go. I got something.
Oh, you finally got it on your radio?
No, I got it on my I had to use the other scanner app that I have. It's a police scanner app.
Okay.
And all this is fucking I got it. When you're using your phone, you get like a fucking commercials. I can put it up to the microphone in case you guys are interested in hearing it at some point.
I have my live feed going on. I mean, there's nothing
Yeah.
much is going on right now. They're just trying to move supplies.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Yeah.
and the thing is, it's
So-
like anyway, I'm sorry. I got a little excited there. I got
Oh,
a little,
that's nice to hear. That's nice to hear. So, report is there's a whole neighborhood lit up, roaring with generators. So the generators are making it up there, guys. If you're donating them, so
Cool.
thank you for doing that.
and just to let you know that supplies are getting there, and the donations are helping people.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
So like you may think everybody's completely full of the shit, but you know they're getting there. You know.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
one thing I would ask if y'all are going to donate, please donate jackets, blankets, and stuff because tomorrow night it is going to be 40 degrees,
Yeah.
and it's going to get colder and colder, and yeah, and if anything's, if you are going to send stuff, send some jackets for the kids too. Also send some children's stuff. Children's toys would be nice too. I've noticed in some of the loads that there is no children's toys.
Well, and
Something
just so that way you help legitimate sources, help sources that you trust. Don't just get like some cowboy outfit that's like America shit, and then it doesn't go to anybody. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
you know, like actual legitimate government recognized legal organizations. You know, that type
Right.
of thing. You know,
and
and I'm sorry for saying more than I should. Sorry.
No, it's an emergency. I mean,
No,
I think at this
it-
point, I think it's bad.
Yeah.
This is not fun.
Right now, what I am trying to address is the simple fact of you guys are now living the aftermath of events like this. These events can occur anywhere in the world.
Mm-hmm.
What I want to do is start to direct people the simplest and easiest way to get started.
Well, what about
Yes, there are a
CD
bunch. Yeah, you can use that. I've never dabbled in it. I don't know much about it. CB radio is very restrictive. You're limited to, I believe it's 4 or 5 watts.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
noisy as fuck.
Well, it's
But-
very immature. They call it children's band for a reason, but the
It's actually citizens band, but children's band is
No,
right.
my dad. I know darn well what it's referred to as, and I said it. I didn't stutter. So
Oh
the
God.
but the
Well, it's
whole
what
point
a lot of hams refer to it as children's band because
And it should
It's
be
un-
referred to that. Yeah.
because it's very undisciplined. There's very little structure, and just anybody can get and say whatever they want,
Mm-hmm.
or that's what they do at least.
I mean, we're having a lot
So-
of unlicensed operators right now on the lines.
Yeah, but also that's
Yeah,
can be expected in situations like this is that I guess if as legal operators, you're going to have to give some grace to people because they might just have it and then be like, I need some fucking help. And you're going to need
Well,
to get past your fucking decorum.
Apparently, net control doesn't like it.
well, they're according to the FCC guidelines, anybody can use any band at any point in time during an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if these
So,
guys are in a genuine emergency, obviously, you help them, and then they get up, and you
yes,
might have to verbally remind them, "Okay, are you good?" Then
right.
don't
Once you're
communicate.
good,
Gotta
leave
be
the band,
diplomatic.
be very
Sorry.
diplomatic, and remind people that ham bands are for licensed ham operators.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't a place to let your kid yak and talk wherever, however long. There is a structure to this. This isn't the Wild West. And the reason we are covering this is because this is an actual live application of why having these things is important.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody thinks their cell phone's always going to work, and then they're dumbfounded when it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Once again, proper planning prevents poor performance.
Exactly.
Well, especially you're going to go to a place where there's no cell phone reception, period.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, yes, there are a multitude of different ways of handling all this stuff. Yes, I know. Look into it, explore it, see what works for you, what fits your budget for equipment. Start with your GMRS, dabble your toe in it a little bit, get a little familiar with it, apply context to the information you will need to know when you go for your ham radio operator's license.
Why am I getting it on here and not the other one?
So, what is going on right now in the Southeast United States can happen anywhere.
Anywhere. I'm waiting for it in the Intermountain Northwest when Yellowstone fucking decides to pop off and be stupid.
Yeah, exactly. And learning how to be able to use the Earth's magnetosphere and learning how
Mhm.
to actually play with that, you will learn how to operate a radio doing that. You will learn what you can and cannot do. And I'm trying to point you all in a simple, easy way to get started.
Yeah, and so another way to really think about it is like if you like buy the new iPhone every fucking time or whatever, you've got the money to get a basic setup going. You know,
I I've
and it,
quite literally, let's see, the Yagi is what, $70. All right, Yagi, we'll
Mhm.
call it $100. The the Diamond Whip antenna, we'll call that $50. It's $150, and then you have the radio, which is another 100, and then the N9TAX ladder line J pole antenna, we'll call it $50, taxes and everything.
Mhm.
So you're what, $300 or less?
Right. You're
and you're talking on
cheapest.
you're talking like
Cheapest.
on a local network and everything like that, and
Well,
you know you're
not
local, but it's better than being completely kind of hosed.
What Nate's getting at is your cheapest iPhone is fucking $800.
exactly. And you can pick up this radio and you learn how to use it, and you can do simplex communication with a couple of $20 Bowfangs and a little mobile radio and a battery.
By the
You can
way,
talk around your neighborhood.
simplex means two-way communication, guys.
Two-way on the same frequency. Duplex
Yes.
means you're using two frequencies, a transmit and a receive frequency.
Mm-hmm.
And that
You
that
can do
yeah, go on. I'm sorry.
with GMRS, there are, I believe, 7 or 8 GMRS repeater channels.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very simple to program them. They're pre-designated what the channels are. GMRS is a little different than ham.
Mm-hmm.
For example, if I remember correctly, one of the GMRS repeater channels is 172.550 for the transmit, and the receive is 162.550.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the two frequencies you need for that one repeater. However, 462.550 is a different GMRS channel. So if you go to that channel, you are going to hear only one side of the conversation. But that is where you get into unique things of PL tones.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a privacy tone. It's a PL tone that allows you to hold a conversation on the same frequency and not interfere with other people.
Mm-hmm.
So having this stuff, if you want to go down to the farmer's market or go down to City Hall or whatever it may be, you have the mobile radio set up at home with the battery and the N9TAX antenna at home, hanging from a little hook in the ceiling if you so choose to. You put that at home. You can take the handheld and walk around your ranch if you want, or wherever your community, and you have a direct line home. Regardless, you don't need a cell phone. And this is why I'm simply explaining this as a starting point. Yes, I understand there are a ton of caveats and a bunch of other ways to do things. There's so many different there's options, there's this mode, there's that mode. Yeah, I understand that. Simply speaking, your average Joe for less than $500 can pick up a couple of handhelds, pick up this mobile radio and a battery, set it up at home, and have something that will work for them.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It's not going to take thousands of dollars in equipment. You're not going to have to put up a 100 or 200 foot tower to be able to do this. This is a very, very basic setup. And this will get you a line out.
I must
can
say,
use-
though, that if you can put up a 200 tower, you will have the biggest dick in the neighborhood.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people in my area that've got like a lot of old timers that have the towers, but like they're old timers, you know?
Yeah, and they're not going to let you fucking use it.
Well, no, it's that and where's the no events.
So
Anyway, there
I
we
just
go.
I wanted to go over the
Holy
stuff.
shit, guys.
What?
Holy
What?
shit. Dude, I got it. I can hear them.
What?
I can hear them
Good.
on Baofeng.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, really? How does it sound?
That's what you hear. Holy shit, that's cool.
Hey,
And
congratulations!
this
You know what you just experienced?
A boner.
Yo, boner.
and
But
that right there is a genuine response and reaction to someone being able to hear somebody else on a repeater.
Mm-hmm.
And
Holy shit. I can't believe I can hear them.
so
Yeah.
like
Listen, record, relay what you can
Mhm.
as needed. Don't interfere.
Nope. And with radio operation, I usually use the 90-10. I listen 90% of the time. I transmit 10% of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I barely like, man, I'm telling you, like here, let me. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to um, do anything listening to that anyway. You know, I guess
well,
I'm sorry. I had to turn off.
it's okay.
No, it's just that like it makes me feel bad because I don't operate as much, but like I'm just like when I tell you like I'm running like a bastard trying to get this shit paid down. Like I am absolutely.
That's okay. You are a step ahead of most people. You
Mm-hmm.
have your licenses. You have the
Dude, that
privileges
is
to
so
do.
cool. That is so cool. I can hear them.
How far away are you?
I'm probably about 2 hours from here. Dude, that's awesome because I
Wait a
didn't turn on the tail thing till just now. I was
No,
like,
wait a
wait,
minute. He's
let me
doing that
turn
with
down
rubber
the squelch.
ducky. He's doing that with like, aren't you doing that with a rubber ducky?
Yes.
Yeah.
There you go. So now you see Even with the basic equipment, with a little bit of knowledge, you can do a lot. You know?
Knowledge is going to be key.
Mm.
And like I said, go to the FCC's website, start with your GMRS. It's a $35 fee.
Good for you and your family. Gotcha.
Yes.
By the way, you listening to this right now, Trash Ops, don't get bogged down in it because it's going to really depress your ass.
Yep.
No,
I
it's
have to
already.
keep what's going on out there, man. I just went out there earlier today. I have
I
to know
know.
what's going on. This is my home.
I know.
Yeah, we
but
understand.
don't get too invested in what you hear.
Yeah.
Don't let it drag you down because it's going to be sad. It's going to be sad.
Yes. You're going to have to know to shut it off and to walk away from it.
Yep.
Um,
Don't let it fucking bury you, man.
don't let it consume your life.
The
Continue to listen. Continue to try to participate for sure. Do everything you can possible. Always.
I mean, if you're listening and you're licensed ham, you have your license. You hear a dude call out, he drops his call sign, drops his call sign and says, asks if there's anybody out there, reply back to him
Yes.
with your call sign. And if I don't know if he can hear you or not, but if he can't hear you, then there's not much you can do other than upgrade your antenna. And the antennas that I showed, the N9TAX,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is the ladder line J-pole, or the Yagi.
Thing we're gonna do now is I'm gonna go out and put more gas in this truck, get it ready, pack some supplies. Anybody who has a call, need help, man, I'm gonna get and then go because this is good. I can't believe I can hear them.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, and
the,
coordinate with the authorities. Don't fuck
Yes.
around. Coordinate with the authorities.
Yes.
yeah,
Get on
Work
the
with
official channels.
Yes.
yeah, and the thing is,
But-
it's like,
But this is all. Yeah, go ahead.
no, you can get into like all we're saying, like, and I think you understand it very
I'm on the
well.
phone.
Just be careful. That's all we're really
Yes.
saying.
Yes.
Use your God-given common sense,
Yeah.
and that's it. But
But
sorry, like when I talk, I got to fiddle with shit. So I'm listening, but I'm fiddling with shit. I hope I didn't distract you too much.
Oh,
No,
you're
it's okay.
distracting the shit out of us. God damn it, Mr. Awesome.
But
You know what?
Giving you shit, dude.
yeah. What?
What she said.
Yeah. I don't want this to turn into a ramble fest.
Mm-mm.
There's a lot of stuff going on, and this is a real world application where we can show you a licensed operator being able to connect to a repeater and listen to what's going on.
Yeah, I
Okay.
Just, like right now, like let me go on.
Did anybody expect this hurricane to come in and hit Tennessee and North Carolina?
Not
No.
at this level. No.
Okay. That is part of the point why we talked about doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy things happen all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina, this situation shows you how many people, no matter how unfortunate it is, were not prepared.
And how would they be? Because this was never expected. Ever.
Where I live, this isn't expected.
Mm-hmm.
But I have my own repeater. I have multiple antennas. I have multiple ways of communicating. I have the little Bofang radio, the handheld that he has. I have 12.5 of them sitting in a box.
Mm-hmm.
And he says he doesn't have a problem.
No, I don't. I have my own repeater. I can set up my own repeater for
That's
2
not
meters.
what he said. You have a problem. You buy too many radios.
No. There's a difference between having a problem and being prepared.
No,
I'm just joining in and giving you shit, Nate.
Well, I know. But
it's just like at the end of the day, you can only do so much. You can only do what you can do, and even the best preparation. Like I was talking to Trad Shots earlier, and like we were talking about like how you got these homesteaders and how you be good out there, but how good is a homestead if everything is washed away and you've got
Exactly.
nothing left? You know, how are you going to deal
Right.
with like even the best preparation? Like, what happens if somebody comes in here and just takes all my shit and they're about fuck all I can do? You know, and I mean that's kind of like the equivalent. Like we're
Yeah,
talking
I
like
understand.
it's like you need to be. It's a tough overall tough situation, but it's better to have knowledge at the end of the day.
That is exactly my point. Number
Yeah.
one, how many households in the United States have a weather radio or a shortwave radio for listening to broadcasts? The last FEMA report that I remember reading a few years back said it was 1 in 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, someone can break into your house and take your radio and take your emergency radio. Someone can break in your house and take your food. Yeah, all of that can happen. But you know what? Does that mean the other 9 out of the 10 shouldn't go out and buy a radio?
Mm-hmm.
Not at all.
That's
Well,
what
and
that's the
why
point
did
I'm
they?
trying to make.
Well, and why would they? Why would they hone in on the guy that's got the fucking radio? Not to get conspiracy theory.
Well,
And
yeah, I
how
mean,
would you
if
even know that you have a radio, guys?
right.
This is a fucking weather radio.
Yeah.
Right here.
And FEMA said 1 in 10 people have that. So in
Yeah.
his neighborhood, he's the guy that has the radio. Nobody else does.
Right. This thing has a hand crank on it. I don't need anything. In fact, I need to replace this. This thing's fucking melting. It's sticky and weird and
You know what
yeah.
else?
What have you been doing?
And nothing,
Yeah.
man. This
We don't-
thing's sitting up on my fucking shelf. Jesus Christ. Ah. Anyway,
But yeah,
go ahead.
exactly. If those people that were there had a weather radio that had an alert system that would have chimed or made an alert to wake them up that this was coming and there was a storm surge headed their way,
Mhm.
how many lives would that have saved?
Right.
How
Like,
many
how many of them
people?
could be out of the way and taking a shower? All that good shit, you know.
Mhm.
Right. So does that mean because someone's going to break into their house and steal their shit, they shouldn't buy one?
No. It's no, not at all. I'm not, and I hope I wasn't conveying that. I'm just saying.
And all I'm trying to say is there are things you can do to make yourself better prepared.
Mhm.
My old man told me before I even went to kindergarten, proper planning prevents poor performance.
Mhm.
What we are looking at now in Tennessee and North Carolina is poor performance.
Mhm.
Oh, I'll show you.
And shift
If-
planning.
Yeah, piss poor planning.
Yeah, and all that good stuff. That sucks.
But
Um,
yeah, it sucks. It's a shitty situation, but this is something we all can learn from.
Exactly. That's what I thought about myself. You know, like
Yeah.
it's reasonable in the prepping terms of things to think about these things. You know, one we should help people if we can, but
Yeah.
like we should also be able to prepare ourselves and all that
Exactly.
good stuff. And
Mhm.
let me see if I can keep on topic. Don't get bogged down too much with the technical stuff with the radios.
Mm.
Find something fun to do, like when you can turn on your radio, like even my little Bofeh. Learn how to. It's got a radio filter. I can get FM radio on that little Bofeh. You can get FM
Yeah.
on your little Bofeh as well. Learn how to do that. Learn how to just operate the flashlight, just to be real
The
simple.
flashlight?
Yeah, the flashlight. Yeah,
Yes.
so that way you have
Flashlight.
something to do
Yes.
at night. And
They
so,
do have those, and you can get vibrations.
Yes, and
I'm not proud of you. I'm
and
not
you
proud
can
of you.
get pictures of your fucking mother on there too. What? Just come
Oh,
on.
whoa, whoa, whoa!
Whoa.
But
No, but I'm
that's
saying, I think everybody's just. I think we're just all repeating the same thing over and over again at this point. But it's just be smart about it, guys. Be smart.
and you're going. okay, let's put it a simple way. You know you're going to have a chance of a bad storm. You hit the grocery store, you pick up a couple extra cans of this, that, or whatever it may be for an extra meal or two. You keep a week's worth of groceries on hand. Why? Because you might have a bad storm that shuts down the grocery store, right? Okay, that's planning ahead. This is just another avenue and another aspect of planning ahead.
Yep.
Just because, oh, it's not going to happen in my area. Yep. Nobody expected a hurricane to come barreling into the southeast U.S. and just shut everything down. So just count on the fact of, oh, this will never happen. Okay, I've heard Pop. Oh, she's different. She loves me.
Well,
Yeah.
here, that's the thing. Mother Nature is our woman.
Right.
She loves me. She's different. Uh-huh.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that bitch is gonna fuck you up. Look at what
Yeah.
happened.
Right. And all I'm saying is you have an option of doing something that can help you prepare.
Yep.
Whatever level it is, buy a weather radio. Be aware of what you can do to get a line out, a line in and a line out. But I want you to know, cell phones don't always work.
Mm-mm.
We've gotten into that mindset. We've never had to deal with anything major. And I mean, this is what the biggest thing we've had since what, Katrina?
Yeah.
What about Hurricane Sandy when it hit New York?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
everybody
that's
was
more
talking.
recent than Katrina, but Katrina was worse. But you look at what
But
happens to a metropolis like New York City and how it almost evolved into Escape
oh
from
yeah,
New York.
Yeah.
yeah. And
Yep.
would you rather have a radio and have a way of communication to get word out and to know what's going on when and where, and have family and friends in your close network of people you work with and you associate with? They have their radio license, they have their radios. Phones go down, you switch to a radio.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well,
to
that's why
me,
even in
that's
the
just
military we have redundancy in communications,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be your
right.
handheld, your SINGARs, or your communication center like apparatuses.
Right.
Right. You don't count just one mode of communication and be like, oh, we're good, we got this. No. That you're just
It'll be
asking for
fine.
problems.
It'll be
Yeah.
fine. What can happen?
I mean, what? Your license $35. That's $3.50. It's $3.50 a year.
Mm-hmm.
$3.50 a year. I mean, I can spend more on a bottle of scotch.
If you're getting a bottle of scotch for $3.50, don't drink that.
Oh, I know. Like, shit, I spend a lot more than that on scotch. I spend a lot more than that on cigars.
Well,
But
what I'm saying is don't drink that bottle of scotch that costs
oh no,
$3.50 because
no,
it's not scotch. It's
no,
isopropyl alcohol.
it's probably some Scottish dude pissed in a bottle is what you're gonna get.
Well, that might be too.
Um,
Yeah.
but
Hey, Nate,
yeah,
I was helping these Germans out at a wedding, and they tipped me in a couple of cases of beer.
Yeah.
nice.
I saw you were drinking one of those. What's the name of that beer, by the way?
I'm not even. It looks like Veltines.
Okay.
It's a Pilsner.
Yep. It's probably something very similar to Heineken.
Yeah, but it's a light beer.
Yeah. Well,
And so-
Heineken is too.
Yeah.
But Heineken has more of a hoppy flavor to it, in my opinion. But that's just
That's only in the United States. When you get the shit fresh in Holland, oh my god.
Yeah, completely different.
Oh
The,
my god, it is
yeah.
so good.
but
We're over 2 hours. I don't want to
No,
ramble too far, too long, and
No, I would just no, I like we understand. I just figured we could just kind of like shoot the breeze a wee bit, and
We're moving into bullshit territory, yeah, for sure.
yeah. So I want to share
Those that need to go.
but one of my bullshit thing. Hey, if I'm working on this thing for what you call it, trash ops there, is supposed to be a chain. Goes on the
Okay.
bike, and at the bottom here, it's going to flail. It's going to have 4 things that it's going to dangle out a little bit. So it doesn't really look like much right now, but you see, like it'll hang on the bike chain.
Okay.
In the brake line.
Be real careful about that one, Trash Ops.
Why it's fully legal.
It is fully legal, but can also be construed as a weapon, and they
Oh, yeah.
will use that as an excuse.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
That's
but
right.
it's stainless
That
steel.
can provoke probable cause.
Yes. Yeah, be very careful about that one.
Yeah, but very easy to make, by the way. But
Yeah.
Of course.
but I mean, it's just essentially it's a lanyard, for your,
Right.
and that's all it's used for. And as long as you're not being a jackass about things, you should be all right.
No, the reason that what they use here in the Pacific Northwest, is they like to use actual horse lines, and then they'll put one of those ends on it like you've got there. And the whole reason for it is when the car fucking invades your space, you slap the side of it.
Yeah, it's called the Get Back Whip.
Yeah, it's hey, I'm here, dude. What the fuck are you doing? Yeah.
Yeah, and all this is just it's just a nice little fancy little reminder to
Mm-hmm.
fucking wait. So basically, I got a ruler. So like when you
Keep the little
from-
tails short.
I'm
Don't go full cat o' nine tail on it. You'll be all right.
basically it's gonna be like I'm gonna have these go down to about there.
Okay.
Like so it's gonna be these lengths here are gonna be about 8 or 9, 10 inches, from everything. Try and keep it around 30-ish inches overall length. I was just kind of guessing it. So hopefully you'll like it. Trash Ops. You see a preview of my work. There you go.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, and by the way, guys, thanks for everybody's participation tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're trying to do like ham lessons and
we're getting the word out, and we're just doing the very, very, very basic shit
Yep.
right now. We will get a little more involved as this progresses. Crusader, do we want to make this a weekly Sunday night thing?
I don't know. I mean, if there's a demand for it, then sure. I mean, if there's not, then why just put it out into the ether for no point?
I mean, we've
main
got.
thing, if we talk about radio, y'all should put your sexy faces. Let's see them sexy hands. Let's see them radios.
Okay.
You're seeing mine. It's behind me in that mess of wires.
Hold on a sec.
I mean, I can start. I have a tripod. I can set up my camera and I can actually start recording some of the stuff I do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 85 to 90% of what I do with my radio is HF.
Dude, let's see those veiny hands, bro.
So basically, this is my shitty setup right here.
Dude, there is no shitty setup, and quit fucking tearing yourself down about that.
Well,
Yeah.
see,
I know, I'm
basically,
impressed by what you have.
the computer is for HF right there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Zygo is on its side right here because I want it to be. It's the only way that I really fucking operate this thing without like putting a screwdriver there.
Okay.
And,
well, if it
and
works,
that's my
whatever
little,
works for you.
yes, and that's my little shitty 2 meter right there, which works just fine. And that's my.
I was gonna say, man, with your big antenna, step outside and put the frequency in. I guarantee you'll be able to hear them because I can hear them just fine with them. And turn your squelch down.
I'm not gonna. I'm telling you, I'm too far away.
Dude, get up on the fucking roof if you can, and you will get them.
Yeah, if I can hear them loud and clear where I am, and I turn the squelch down, you should be able to hear them perfect. I have a rubber ducky. You have a full ass antenna.
No, we're not talking about you in the building right now, dude. We're talking about get out into the open.
No, I'm lazy and I'm going to listen this way.
I know you are. I
But
know
yeah,
you're lazy, but you're not lazy. He always says he's lazy, but this guy drives fucking constantly to collect Uber ride money.
He comes to visit me too. Let's not forget
Oh
that.
yeah, and it's just like, oh, I'm fucking lazy. No, you're fucking not.
but
He's like,
Here's
oh, I'm
right,
something
in
though.
the
I can tune. Look, I just to prove a fucking point. Here, hold on.
Oh, here we go. Now we got him pissed off.
It's 1451.
Yeah, and turn the squats down to like 2.
Well, no, it'll be fine.
I'm telling you. Turn the
That's
squats
what
down to
she
2.
said. That's what she said. It'll be fine.
Oh, you sit down to 2. You say?
Yeah,
Hold on a sec. I'm just
and then go
figuring.
out and then like put it outside your window. You should be able to hear shit because I'm hearing shit in the house.
Well, I'll just set it to 2 there on that.
Either that
is
or
that
put your rubber ducky back on.
your Yaesu HT that you got?
No, this is my Yaesu right here. This is my other HT, and I learned that HT stands for handy talkie, and I was understanding like what the fuck does HT mean? I thought it meant like a HF radio. No, HT means handy talkie in the terms of radios. So this
Yeah.
is like HT, anything with a handheld HT.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is the Zygo. No, this is Yaesu, but I haven't really programmed that too well. And I'm telling you, I am too far away to hear shit. So let me go outside on the porch.
Yeah, because they're transmitting. I'm hearing them.
I am like 2 hours away. I'm not. This is a little bit. Ooh, wait a minute. I don't have to go outside. I'm a lazy
Bro.
bastard.
I'm getting 5 bars out here.
No.
I watch a lot of this social media.
No, I have.
Because I don't know what's doing, what's
I have
not.
a J pole, and the J pole. All I need to do is get my connectors connected, and I can connect. So you can fucking wait with that bullshit of getting outside. I have a better antenna already hooked up. Sorry.
Matt, with what I've gone over tonight, did I provide you with some information in a direction that will help you improve what you're working with for a setup?
Yes. But it's
Okay.
good that I'm able to hear them right now on in the house with my bail thing. But I'm definitely gonna get something bigger now, so I can either contact them and they can hear me.
Mm-hmm. Shoot me if you want links later on. Shoot me a message in Gilded, and I'll send you all the links for the stuff. I can send you the links where you can buy everything directly. And Walcott Radio, that's the cheapest I've been able to find that radio. Everywhere else is selling it for $150 to $200.
I can do custom length cable.
And that's another connection you want to have.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna need some coax.
Custom link cable, custom everything.
Yeah.
Connectors, type of cable. I can do all of that shit.
There's your connection for coax.
I can also make specialty antennas.
Yeah. It'd be nice to
Bro,
get
I don't know how Edmund is not able to hear this.
Well, it's because you are closer to it, and
You're
in
bothering
an
him. He's getting all freaked out, dude.
Yeah.
Just
So
No,
Edmund, quit freaking out, dude.
no,
Yeah,
you
just
should
relax.
Be quiet and let me operate.
I love you, Edmund.
But yeah,
No homo.
No did it.
there. I mean, if you, Matt, if you want, I'll send you all the links, the bag I have, the batteries I have, where I got the ammo box, where I got the parts to make. I'll send you pictures of what I've made for my battery boxes. The exact same setup I run.
Mhm.
I went through them earlier today. I have 4 shoulder sling bags with antennas, radios, and batteries. All duplicated systems that I can hand out to family and friends. And then, like I said, I have 12.5 handhelds. And my own repeaters.
Hold on.
Yeah,
So-
we need to get back into the repeater thing so we can just toss those into a tree.
Here's the thing, though. I have a J pole connected outside, so it's not connected. It's leaned against the balcony, but same difference. And so
Well, as long as your coax is connected to it, you should be fine.
yeah,
Mhm.
so there's all different connectors. So just be mindful. So there you go on that. It's connected.
Yeah. I mean, you may be a little bit too far out of range.
Oh no, he said I was connected because I should be able to hear it on the state. I'm just fucking.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and case in point of where you're at ground level. If your antenna were up 20 or 30 feet, that would extend your range on VHF, UHF. And that's the nice part about having a ladder line antenna with a little bit of rope.
Right here, you see here though, just with the normal functions on a Bofang, with the thing outside, the simple setup. I've got a radio that's capable of transmitting, doing a lot of things with just this, you know.
Mhm.
And so like,
Yeah.
and what? Hold on. Oh, you made me change channels. How did I change channels?
But
Now, what about your big radio that you have? Your big base station you have?
I think that's just HF.
Oh.
No way! No
No.
way!
No. That's the Nora.
Oh, I was about to say, I was like, no way! He got it! He got it!
Well, it's going to depend on a multitude of factors.
Mhm.
And
Oh, bro,
that's
if,
why
straight up. If Edmund gets this, my boner's gonna be so big.
that's what she said.
I'm gonna have a straight up fucking rager because of this.
Well,
No.
make sure you take care of that and not with the neighbor's livestock, for one.
Yeah.
No sheep. No sheep.
Well, I'm just going to scan with use the scan feature here. See if I can
Okay.
hear anything.
But yeah, though there are a lot of little details that will come into VHF, UHF as a ham operator.
Mhm.
And you're going to learn you can use radios out in parks, you can use it in different locations, 2 meters, 70 centimeter. If there's a hilltop or something in your area that gets you a good vantage point of looking over a city and has a tree up there, throw that ladder line up there and you will have a better capability of transmitting and receiving. And those are going to be the little details.
Mhm.
And that's where studying and understanding how these things work and playing with it and understanding how it works will greatly benefit you.
Mhm.
But
I am by no means an expert. I'm just a
No,
guy that spent a lot of time reading.
look, this here, even just like, say you're just like fucked off in the middle of nowhere, you're safe, but maybe you could still listen to music, you know, FM radio.
Hey, Edmund, turn down the squelch down to 0. It's gonna sound really scratchy, but I want to know if you can hear anything.
Give me a sec. I have to figure my shit out.
Yeah, turn the squelch down all the way down to 0 and see if it's like you'll hear it, and see if you could just barely pick up a voice.
Don't. You're not transmitting, are you?
No, I'm not. No, I refuse to transmit on this.
Okay, give me a sec. It's not. These things are not exactly. Okay, hold on.
Well, before you get too ahead of yourself on that, what is your PL tone set on your radio for your transmit and receive? And do you have the proper offsets done?
Yeah, and that stuff, the problem I have with a lot of this stuff is that I understand that it needs to be set in order to communicate. It's understanding how to make the radio do that. You know, like how do I set it on the radio? And that's a question of like me looking up settings and shit like that. And that's why I'm
It's
all, you know,
okay. A lot of that stuff is. It sounds very complex, but once you see it done, it's very simple to do.
Yeah, it's like I'm beginning to understand the concept in my head. I'm going to try moving the antenna around a little bit. So forgive me if I'm talking a little bit over you. I hope you don't think I'm rude to you, Nate, or anything like that.
No. Case in point, let me pull up those repeaters again, and I'll give you a real world example. I'm just signing back into a repeater book.
Let me put this back here.
Oh, okay.
Let me put that there and forget that I put it there.
What's the frequency? Okay. 2 meters.
By the way, those of you who are bored with our bullshit shenanigans are more than welcome to leave, but you're also more than welcome to stay.
Just hold on.
And these shenanigans are actually real world activation type stuff. This is how you do it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Case in point, the repeater you guys are on, 145.19. It uses a negative offset, so you receive on 145.19, but you transmit on 144.590, which will, it's a -6 offset. That was just the next line I was looking at. So you transmit on 144.59, and then you receive on 145.91. And let's see if there's a PL tone on that repeater.
I got it leaned against the roof here a little bit. Let's see if we hear anything. I bet I'll get better communication on it. No, I'm not hearing nothing.
Oh, that's not good. So people are backfeeding their homes with their generators, and when they attach power, this can kill the line workers.
Oh,
So
yeah, don't do that. Don't do
That's
that.
what someone just said. They just found a bunch of generator people backfeeding their homes.
Oh, no.
One.
Me being an electrical guy, you need to disconnect yourself from the grid. I don't care if you've got to fucking chop off your fucking attachment. You should have a main disconnect that you can throw.
Yep.
And run your house.
Years old apiece.
Yeah. Well, your power grid, you should be, if you're going to run a generator, you need to be able to completely remove yourself from the grid.
Mm-hmm.
Or you're going to backfeed some power through the line, and that's going to cause problems. Once again, this comes down to proper planning prevents poor performance.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the other thing that most people don't even take into consideration is, okay, you're backfeeding the line. You're wasting all of your power, all of your gas, everything.
Yeah.
Your diesel, your gasoline, your propane, however your fucking generator runs, you're just wasting it.
You're dumping fuel.
Yeah, you're putting all that power down the line that's going to kill somebody.
Okay, this is a tri-band, not a quad band. So I don't have 1.25. C211.
But yeah, this is the spaghetti. This is the sausage being made, and especially dealing with like ham, understanding how repeaters work. There's been uplink and downlink frequencies.
That's not true, St. Louis.
My both thing is it does the 70 centimeters and the 2 meters, but it does not do the 1.25 meters. But my other radio does the 1.25 centimeters and the other two ones, and both do regular FM radio. And eventually, what I would like to do is maybe end up even jailbreaking a few Baofengs to do all the bands, like
Mm-hmm.
like all the like consider like like the eight like the three main bands that I said, plus the GMRS stuff, but that's
Well,
kind of like in the realm of kind of illegal.
I have jailbroken a couple of UV5Rs.
Yeah.
They work well in the 2 meter, 70 centimeter band. They do not work outside of that. You can it is technically possible to jailbreak a UV5R to have it work on ham and GMRS. But you cannot use a Baofeng on 6 meters or 10 meters.
No,
It
I'm not
just
talking
does.
about. I'm not talking about doing it for 6 or 10 meters. I'm talking about like for the 1.25 meters and maybe even CB bands and everything, all through the
It won't do.
Baofeng. To get away
A
with it, I would
Baofeng will
like
not do CB bands.
They won't.
No, it will not. Baofengs will not do CB. The closest you can get to CB band is, because if I remember correctly, the CB band is somewhere within the 11 meter band. So you would be able to get a 10 meter radio to possibly get over into the CB bands. Maybe. But you're going to have to do some major modifications to that.
Yeah, and there's no reasons to do all that. So basically, what I'm doing is I took my Baofeng, connected it to my. I went outside and I have a place to put my. I have kind of a J pole out there that's zip tied to my the beam in the balcony there that kind of goes up. I have for something else, and then I could stick the end of the copper J pole down into the metal thing there to hold it in place, right? And so technically it's up higher, but it's kind of a little bit at an angle, but whatever.
Close enough for government work.
And then what I'm doing is I'm scanning on 70 centimeters to see if I can hear anything. And so maybe I can hear something on 70 centimeters through the thing. And the squelch is down to 0. So we're hearing everything.
Yeah.
But how far does this go up to? And this is why I have cheat sheets, folks. That's why I constantly look at that to make sure I don't operate outside the bands. And I have crib notes. Just that's why I have it there. I have my off camera. You can't see it. I have the license over there on the wall. So like you're supposed to technically post that up. Okay, there's nothing. There is nothing going on.
But yeah, there is a great learning curve to learning that stuff. There is a lot, and that's why I recommended starting with GMRS.
Yeah.
You can run simplex, talk and transmit and receive on the same frequency. Dealing with offsets, you can learn that working with your GMRS repeaters, how to program an offset, a plus and a minus offset in a radio. You can learn how to work with a Baofeng radio and programming it with the Chirp software. Those are the small steps you need to start working with and becoming proficient with first. Start small and work your way up. I've spent a lot of time over the past 2 years learning a lot of operational and functional stuff. It's not how nice of a radio you buy. It's not how nice of a radio you're trying to use. It's knowing what you need to do to the radio to make it work. But hopefully I helped somebody out there.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that little bit of information got out to somebody that is provoking someone to learn to get their license, to put them in a situation where they are better prepared for horrible weather that comes in their area.
Well, I know we haven't reached a lot of people, but the people that have participated tonight are all a bunch of crazy sons of bitches.
So the
And
usual
that,
suspects.
yeah, they'll all continue to push all this shit out there into the
Yeah.
void.
Yeah. And yeah, like we talked about before, this bad case, this bad scenario
Mm-hmm.
is a great learning event for those of us outside of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because where we all are, I mean, is there a chance of having a North Atlantic typhoon slash hurricane slamming into Washington State? Yeah.
No, but there is a chance of a Pacific hurricane doing that.
Yeah, I'm sorry. North Pacific. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, can New York get hit by a North Atlantic? Yeah. North Pacific and Washington? Yeah.
Yeah.
North Pacific hitting Alaska? Yeah. All of
Well,
that can happen.
you could see a hurricane come up the Pacific coast. It never happens. It never has happened in recorded history. But you could see it coming up, and it would wipe out LA, and then it would
Uh-huh.
continue north. There's
Yeah.
nothing stopping it.
No. No. I mean, you have what uh the Pacific coast, tail of the Rocky Mountains that run through
Mm-hmm.
California and all the way up, and that's going to basically keep that hurricane off the coast and just going to pummel it with water.
Yeah. Well, it's all going to be on the coast side,
Uh-huh.
following the Rocky Mountains up the coast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's the Rockies won't let it penetrate.
No, no,
But
it's going to cause
the
all kinds of other issues, but it's not going to have the rain and the flooding. And everything is going to flow according to the continental divide, which means it will go
mhm.
west. In other words, right back into the Pacific Ocean.
But there have been a couple of recorded hurricanes that have come off Siberia, out over the Pacific, south of
Mm-hmm.
Alaska, that have rolled down the Canadian coast.
Yes.
Now, if one of those hits Washington,
Mm-hmm.
and you have one of those things that you have that clockwise rotation coming down off of Alaska down Canada, it can slip on the coast. It can
Oh
slip in
shit,
and
yeah.
dump a bunch of rain. And I mean, you put a storm surge and a lot of flooding rain into Washington, Oregon, Northern
Mm-hmm.
California, you're going to shut down power grids.
Well, and I'm honestly waiting for the next Pineapple Express that really dumps some rain.
Yeah.
We have not seen one of those events. And those Pineapple Expresses come out of Hawaii.
Yeah.
It's the same type of tropical storm.
Uh-huh. But I mean, I'm on the Great Lakes.
Mm-hmm.
We get tornadoes, we get ice storms. That can knock out a power grid just as fast. It's a different weather type of event, but it has the same effect on an aging, vulnerable power grid. It can happen. We get a polar vortex coming across Canada that drops down over the Great Lakes. For us to see 40, 50, 60 below zero and shatter power lines, it's
Mm-hmm.
possible. I've seen them in my life. So
Yep.
in my area of the country, to have a wood burning stove is very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
To
Oh,
be able to
almost
have
survival
yeah,
level.
yeah, because if you don't have it, you're dead. You will
Mm-hmm.
freeze to death.
Yep.
Um, and that can shut down a power grid. Having batteries to run equipment, yeah, great thing. There's a lot of people I've talked to that didn't grow up in the Great Lakes. We have a polar vortex that comes through every now and then. You make a big pot of soup or chili or whatever like that. You want to cool it down. I just look at neighbors and I'm like, dude, just throw a top on it and throw it in a snowbank. Is that safe to do?
Oh yeah.
It's 36 below zero. It's not going to spoil.
Nope. What do you mean is it not safe to do? The shit's frozen fucking solid.
Well, they don't comprehend when we have those polar vortexes coming through.
Uh-huh.
They don't understand that your freezer's probably, I'd say 23 to 28 degrees.
Mm-hmm.
To put something in a freezer to freeze, it's 23 to 28 degrees.
Yep.
When you take a hot kettle of soup or chili or something like that, and you put it outside in 30 or 40 below zero, food's not going to spoil in that. It'll
No,
freeze fucking solid.
And it's going to freeze very quickly because it is so hot.
Yes.
Does that mean the food is just as good when you reheat it too? Did you flash freeze it essentially?
It's you literally are flash freezing it.
Yeah.
You probably protect the cell membranes of everything in the was it in the dish a lot better than traditional freezers.
Yep.
I mean, Sean, you know exactly what you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I heard
putting
something.
Cold stuff outside.
We did it all during the winter growing up, and most of my folks still do it now, or anybody who's got a house with a deck. That's where the beer goes. That's where meat goes into a cooler because your fucking storage is full.
Voices on this.
There you go, Edmund.
All the time. What are you talking about?
I can't distinguish anything. All I hear is I'm sorry to interrupt you, George, but no, I definitely hear voices.
Okay.
What does it sound like? Man with a dark southern accent?
Yeah.
I'm hearing him right now.
He's like a 1-1.
But yeah, Sean, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. I mean, you want to freeze a pot of chili or whatever it is, you throw it out in a snowbank, and it's frozen solid in 2 hours or less.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it didn't heat the shit up in your fridge.
Into, what is it? Don't put the cooking apparatus outside as well. Don't do that, because that's how you break metal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can.
Yep.
Don't take your crock pot thing and put it outside to get it cold and frozen.
No.
You're gonna break that ceramic. You might crack a stainless steel pan. I imagine cast iron will shatter.
Cast will shatter.
It can, yes.
Well, depending on the temperature difference, you will more likely shatter cast or crack it.
Yeah.
Well, how quickly you can fucking freeze it.
Yeah, but same way, in order to cool something down quickly, some people like to throw it in the freezer. That's the worst possible thing you could do to your freezer. Because now it's elevated the regular temperature, and then your refrigerator is going to work harder to restore normal temp.
But I mean, those are the things that in our environments we know to do. Those are the old school ways of chilling something. I mean, it's different for other people in different parts of the world, but you need to know those things. You need to know those skills. But those are the critical skills of knowing how to do things. Having a radio, this is just basic fundamentals of having a radio and knowing how to use it. Being able to hear what's going on in your area, because case in point, if you're stranded and you're stuck somewhere and there's a rescue crew coming out to disperse food, water, things like that, and you're a half mile away from them, and you can hear where they're going to be. Oh, I didn't know. Well, if you had a radio, you could hear it. You'll know.
Yep.
And that's kind of where we're starting, and this is a prime time to put this, show how this will apply. You have two guys not too far from where this hurricane came and decimated everything.
Well, one's able to hear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. The quality on both radios, just a small little update, is about complete dog shit. And as far as signal reliability, it's basically the fucking the word we got here. Basically, um, it's like a 2S, like a two, there, like a one, one. You know, it's like it's very hard to hear. I can hear like as an RST. My RST is like a
Mm.
how so it's like
What
a
we're going to do.
yeah. So basically, what you do, just in radio terms, is like 5.5 is the best, and all
I'm
that.
pulling the
So
chart
like,
up right now.
and I can barely hear like a guy talking in the background. So like, I don't think that's a terrible thing on a Bofang, you know. But like at the same
No,
time,
No, and it's not. And what I'm going to do is I am going to pull up
maybe I'm feeling
Ham
But it begs the
School.
question. It begs the question. Put your rubber ducky back on. I wonder if you can hear them there because I'm getting strong signals by the window.
I have a literal copper J pole outside that this thing is connected to.
that copper J pole is going to do way more than the rubber ducky.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the
Oh,
thing
okay.
is
So
like
you're running the rubber ducky right now. Okay, you're on the J pole right now on your Bayo
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, on the Bofang, I'm not going to go into the setup because it's kind of boring. But like,
Well, that
I will
that
a little
rubber
bit. I have
ducky is garbage
well,
compared.
Dang garbage. I'm able to hear these guys nice and clear.
You're a
Okay.
lot
Well,
closer though.
you're a lot
Yeah.
closer. All right. What when he's talking? Let's go over something. Readability scale. This is what he's talking about. When people say you have a signal as a 5.9, readability 5, perfectly readable. 9 signal strength, extremely strong signal. If you're 5 by 5, perfectly readable. 5 is fairly good signal. And those are what the numbers mean. So when he said it's 1, it's unreadable. You can tell there's something there, but you can't distinguish what's being said. A 2 in readability is barely readable. Occasional words are distinguishable. That's probably, from what it sounds like, maybe he's getting I'd say readability about a 2. Like a 2 by 1, which would be a faint signal, barely perceptible. You
Talking
barely,
about me?
you can hear there's
yeah, I'm
something there.
basically doing like a 2-1 essentially, but like it's or 1-1, but like I'm in that range. It's a guess. I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah. So, and Trash Ops is a little bit closer. He's able to get a better signal because what I've been able to hear from him, I would say a 4 readability with practically no difficulty, and I would say like a 4.6, good
Yeah.
signal. So you have, and that's what you'll get with 2 meters 70 centimeter, depending on the distance, depending on the antenna, depending on how you're working, your equipment will dictate what signal report you can get from what distance. Now, HF, which is a completely different animal, what I've been doing this past week, I'm on the shore of Lake Michigan. I am able to get a 5 by 8, which is perfectly readable, 5.8 strong signal, or 5.9 from the shores of Lake Michigan to St. Petersburg, Russia. From the shore of Lake Michigan to Santiago, Chile. From the shores of Lake Michigan to Serbia to Belarus to Ukraine. And I'm using a 10-watt radio. And it's not the radio, it's the antenna and it's the application of it.
It's
And then your third digit is when you're working with Morse code because you're looking at tone quality. So your first two is you really want to focus on your readability and your signal strength. Don't worry about tone because that's going to come in when you start playing with Morse code after you've had your ham license.
Mm-hmm. And that's more general license than anything
Mm-hmm.
else.
Yep.
What the fuck
hold
is
on, I got
that?
this.
So that's kind of what they're talking about to put it into context.
I'm gonna figure out what the hell it is. I'm looking in my freezer, guys. Sorry.
That's okay.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
And I'm probably only hearing that, mind you. If I had local traffic going on, I probably wouldn't hear it too good.
Yeah. But that's you guys are watching a real world application of two ham operators, one a little bit further from a repeater than the other.
Mm-hmm.
I hear something about a helicopter.
Yep. Yep. That's net. That sounds like what net? What do you call it? Netgate. Yeah, Netgate talked about a helicopter being loaded up for Batgate.
Okay.
Currently, that particular area is closed off via the roads. You can't get up there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Any word when they're going to open up those roads?
Oh, that's not gonna be till next year, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, those
It's
roads are fucking
Those roads are
bad.
gone.
from what I've seen photo and video wise, I got some video from a guy. He's a military contracting helicopter pilot, and he was flying a crew up there, and he got some little like 15-20 second clips of what the roads look like. The ravines where railroad tracks should be are covered.
They're
The tracks are
gone.
buried. The tracks are buried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of the
So,
roadways
what
are
about the people that still
completely
live
washed
there? Are
away.
they going to have to evacuate?
They're going to have to.
Oh yeah, they're going to have to give up.
So no, here's the problem. Here's the problem, right? Like I said, I spoke to the people there, and the reason why they don't want to leave is because the house that they lived in was their great grandparents. They have a bunch of stuff inside of the house, and the problem is that once they leave, they damn well know people from the city are coming up there and looting the houses left and right. So wherever they leave in the house is going to be gone. There's going to be no house when they come home. So they rather stick it out until the power comes back on, which I have
Yeah.
no problem.
Yeah, I got a theory about that, but it will derail from the radio side, so I'll talk to you backstage about it.
But yeah, there is a lot of looting and there's a lot of things that happen during hurricanes. I know
But
people in
here's the thing.
Florida.
But here's the thing. What I'm told about is that the looting is not. It is not neighbor to neighbor. The neighbors love each other because I'm speaking to these people. They told me it is
Mhm.
people coming from the cities who are driving up
Yes.
here in blacked out Dodge Chargers. Take the hint, and they are
Mm-hmm.
going house to house and stealing people's shit.
Yep.
Yeah. There
Don't
are
take
those
it from me.
people, and then there are other people.
Yes.
Well,
You're
I know
right.
I
people.
am just thrilled, trash outs, that even though it's kind of shit quality, but I can pick it up.
That's good. I'm happy you can pick it up.
And
So I'm
that
happy that you're
what you
happy.
guys are what you guys are looking at right now is like where Edmund's at. If he were to have an exterior Yagi or a Yagi that is on a hilltop or second floor of a building or third floor of a
I do
building,
have one. It's
But-
connect. It's 915 megahertz though.
it's not once again, you have to be on the right band. If it was a 2 meter 70 centimeter Yagi, like the one that I showed earlier, you would have a better chance of getting into that repeater.
Your Yagi at 915, you can make it work with a tuner. It fucking sucks. It's not going to be awesome, but you can get it to work. And I want to fucking put that out there right now, guys. You
What's
can
that?
use an adverse antenna to do a lot of shit,
But you need a tuner.
but you need a tuner
The-
or filters or
Yeah,
fucking
and-
attenuators. It's a black fucking art.
Yes, it is. And
it is magic. It is wizardry. It is engineering.
Mhm.
It is all of that shit. But this is why I say to random people sometimes when I get into my hyper like modes about liking stuff is that this is literally the perfect hobby to teach your children at home. You
Yeah.
know, this is like
Yeah.
literally like you have a life skill, and at worst, like you can run the radios and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll let that run in the background since it's like real time and like I'm not using I'm not using the computer app. My janky ass is just cobbled a bunch of shit together and it's working.
Exactly.
You know, and
Exactly.
that is my and always will generally be my goal. Will I build a better setup? Yeah, sure. But like that's not necessarily the awesome goal. But like I'm just happy that I can kind of tune in a little bit and just at least listen. And
Yeah. And that's being able to do that is going to be a great thing, and that's a great skill to have, because if you didn't have power, you can still hear what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, at least a little bit. And I mean, like, but also like very basically, like I could take care of myself. I mean, if I had to, I could just literally just stay in the apartment. I could read my books and just fuck off from the rest of the world. If I
Yeah.
really had to for a little while. But
Well, what you can also do is find that fat black chick down the hall.
no, I met one the other day. She was like, "Hey, what you doing?" And she had an ass to where you could probably put a couple of drinks on.
Oh yeah,
You know, we got to figure out, Edmund. We got to figure out a repeater that me and you can tap to, and me and you can talk to. So in case something does happen, we can at least talk to each other. I have to come get you. You come get me.
Actually, that's a good exercise that everybody should be taught, and I encourage you guys to do it.
Well,
Yep.
I mean, we need to figure something out. Like,
Or
you can't
go ahead.
do like I'm pretty certain that if you were able to get on the 10-meter radio band, or at least on the CD band, that might be the only way that we could do that. So I would like to probably test a CV situation, since we're actually local.
What you
Well,
what you
I would
Trash
do
House and I
10 meter.
talked. Yeah.
What?
10 meter, you have a
10
really good
meter.
chance. 10 meter.
10 meter is perfect.
10
Well,
meter
no,
USB.
the thing is
Mm-hmm.
that you can't transmit on 10 meters. But like,
We can
As a
fix that.
technician he can. He just needs an HF radio.
Yeah.
hey, Matt,
What's up? What?
I have an FM radio that would probably work for that, and I could give it
Yeah.
to you next time I meet you. And it's
Oh,
only
dude.
it is for the FM band, but like
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to take your shit, bro. Just tell me what it is. I'll buy one.
no, don't do
Well,
that. If you get like an FM 10-meter radio, essentially, if I know things are kind of fucked or whatever, I can turn on my radio and set it to the FM mode
Mhm.
for the Zygu. I could just set it to like FM mode or whatever, and I could be like, we can agree on a band and be like, hey, just transmit on this band. Hey, like you could just say Ed. No one's gonna fucking know. And then I'll say, hey, whatever, and then I
Yeah.
could, and we can establish communications, and I'll know something like that is like you're fucked, or you're not fucked, but you're like, I need help. Basically.
Well, all right. Is Trash Apps and I talked previously. He
Yeah,
said there's a rather large hill or a foothill or something between the two of you, correct?
I guess.
Yeah,
What do you
check the
mean?
messages, Eddie.
I can see myself.
What you could do is one of you, if you have the ability, if one's kind of hunkered down, sheltering in place, the other one goes to that location, you put up a 2 meter, 70 centimeter, like that ladder line J pole. You throw that up in a tree. You're going to cut your distance in half. You have the assistance of elevation. You can get in there simply. If that's not an option, What you can do is then you can start using 10 meters. As a technician, he's limited to upper sideband 28.3 to 28.5. He can get into an entry level HF rig for about $400 or $500.
You
Then
can
you
get
can get
in. There's even simpler rigs that are like.
I understand there's caveat. I understand there's all these little there's this, there's that. I understand, but I'm saying comfortably speaking, he can get into an HF radio, maybe a radio and antenna for $300 to $400 or $400 to $500
Yeah.
or less.
Or
He's not gonna have to
less.
he's not gonna have to spend $1,000 on something.
Or you
And
can talk to me and I can help you design one that will work for you from fucking house wiring that you have available to you.
yeah, to build an antenna. But with
Mm-hmm.
that, he's going to need a tuner and a radio.
Yes.
The
And that's where that's where I'm looking at starting. You can get into a under $500, you can get into an entry level modest HF radio,
Now,
comfortably
let me ask you a
speaking.
question now. What about as far as playing with the old style radios? So I've been perusing around some of the estate sales, and it seems like the boomers are dying left and right, and their wives are selling off their radio equipment for like pretty damn cheap, like pennies on the dollar. Thinking about picking up a couple of that, but I'm seeing a lot of Uniden and what else? There's another couple of names I found. There's one that was dated back 1972.
If you can get them $5 a piece, buy them.
Hell
If
yeah.
you can get if you can pick those up for under $20, comfortably speaking,
Buy them.
Okay.
grab them.
And then talk to me and Nate, and we will coordinate figuring
And we'll
out
come
what we're
pick 'em
going to
up.
do
I
with
got
them.
it.
Yep, $20 or less, grab them, let us
Yep.
know. We will work with you to get them up and operational.
Yep.
Okay. Oh, I thought it
And
was like let you know, then I will carefully take them from you to make sure they work. I'm
don't
kidding.
no,
I'm kidding.
no.
No.
It doesn't matter if they work or not. We can make them work, or at least I can.
Yeah, he can.
Here's the.
Can you make my social life work?
Can I make your what?
Can you make my social life work?
No. No, I can't help you there.
I'm not a miracle worker.
It sounded like one.
I can hook you up with some individuals that might be better in tune with your social life, but they probably aren't in this country, so don't worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
But-
the thing is, it's like there's activity going on right now. Trash shots.
Yeah, no, there's ladies on the line saying for everybody to check on their neighbors and that make sure they know where they're heading because people are starting to leave now. It
I
is starting to get
wonder-
cold, and there is people packing their shit down.
I wonder if it isn't that chick that I just sent the link for.
What do you mean?
I just sent a YouTube
In the private
link
chat.
in the private chat and in the YouTube chat.
Oh, yeah. I've seen,
No.
I've seen
She's
this.
not going to hear you 'cause she's gate guard. Is that what it is? What do you call the people?
Yeah.
Gate something.
No, he's
the
got
one that
something
I
different.
sent is actually a outfitter in the area and a local, and they're staying.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's just a lady, but she's talking about everyone check on their neighbors.
Yeah, she's
good.
probably a net control operator in
Net
the
control.
area.
Thank you. Net control.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of time left tonight. I got a lot of other stuff to get done, but I just want to make
Yeah.
sure that we have a good basic understanding of things. We have two guys that are quite literally living this scenario and situation right now.
Yeah, I know this is happening live. I mean, this is literally as live as it gets.
Right. And in a month, in 2 weeks, in 6 months, this may be occurring somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in an area and you
the
think,
next 2 days down in Florida. If you're in Florida right now, be ready.
Yeah, Milton.
Yeah, I have family down in Florida, and I warned them about this. Like, oh, it'll be fine. I'm like, okay, that's on
They
you.
got radios.
No,
Hmm.
I got my cell phone. Good luck.
Good luck.
Here's the thing. What was that link for there? There, Tommy. Like,
Oh, it's just a video on YouTube with the what's going on
Yeah.
at Lure Lake. What's the other name that's
Yeah.
connected to that? It's where all of the fucking mica mines are for. Yeah, it's
The
a
silicone
bad
mine,
thing.
silicone mine.
well,
And there was
basically, I sent a short to Trash Ops, but it's that JD Delay guy, and he was talking briefly about all the governmental bullshit that's going on. So
Mhm.
what we got right now in the social media world, at least, and everywhere, is that people are at least a little bit aware that there's potentially some fuckery afoot. You know,
right.
Well, yeah.
I
This
think
may not be the time to do it. We could talk about this after.
But
no, I'm not trying to be. I'm sorry.
like I talked to Trash House before, I've heard a lot of different things going on down there. I've seen some federal publications. Yes, the FCC has admitted to seizing radio equipment from non-licensed radio operators.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay? So you can buy a radio, anybody can buy a radio. But if you're operating a radio without a license and you're screwing around and doing
Right.
stupid stuff, you will lose it.
They will take it,
They
especially in
would,
an emergency situation.
yes.
Hold on.
If
Sorry.
you don't know what you're doing and you're screwing around with equipment, you have no license to operate. You're going to lose that number. You're going to lose the equipment, number one, and your name will then be blacklisted. So if you try to get a license later, you will not be able
You're
to.
fucked.
You're gonna have a fucking long ass flight to try to get it.
Yep. So I would rather people get licensed
Mhm.
beforehand and learn to play with it than have to play the game after of trying to figure out how to unfuck yourselves.
And on that note, too, it's okay to listen, guys.
Yeah, it's okay to listen. Anybody can listen.
You can listen all day long, all night long. It does not matter. You're not interfering. Listening is good because it teaches you.
Yes.
Gonna say listening is great, guys, because if you're nearby and a distress
Mhm.
signal goes out, someone's hurt, something needs to happen, and you want to jump into the fight, definitely get your ass up there. And if you got the equipment,
Yep.
you're gonna
And if
save
you have
someone's
the
life.
training and the knowledge to help.
Yep.
I just all I now
But-
I think it's because of the nighttime. I'm hearing the better 2-meter situation. 2-meter tends to work better at night. So what I'm experiencing here is better 2 meters conditions. Similar when you're doing, like, I guess, the shortwave, and you can hear shit from all over the world with it because the signals travel better at night, apparently. You know?
Well,
Not-
here's the
not-
other thing, Edmund.
Not all the time.
Don't get stressed out over what you're hearing.
Well, I can't hear nothing. I'm turning it off. I'm turning the. What's the term?
Walking away.
Shutting it down.
Yeah, but there's a term for it.
Gonna touch grass?
Murphy showed up.
No, it's when you're like shutting
Power
down your
down?
radio.
I don't know.
Powering
Going
down.
offline?
No, I'm just I shut it down. I walked away because it's just at this point, like we talk about helping, and like I a bit of a bleeding heart. I like to help if I can, things like that. But it's just like, I also am a firm believer that sometimes the best way to help out is to get out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And so, like, I had an opportunity to help fill that truck up, like I talked about, and I was worried, like, people are, like, dumb shit in my head because I'm listening to everything that, are people even getting the fucking supplies and yada yada fucking yada, And I just hear a report from the church that when they delivered all the supplies, they had their own crew. Like when they got there to offload it, it took them like 2 hours to offload all like a lot of food, a lot of diapers for people. They got stuff there. It's just going to be a matter of getting it to the people and sifting through all this dumb shit that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
What's this thing about the Starlink that people are their internet being taken away? Have you heard anything
Yeah.
about that?
Yes, yeah, that's what's currently going on.
I'm hearing second and third hand accounts of it occurring. I've also heard voice calls that have been aired from Starlink employees that live in the area that are having the equipment being sent to them, and they're saying they are able to get it out, but they don't have enough of them coming in to get them out to the people. They're having a challenge getting the equipment out to the people. I've heard second and third and fourth hand stories that it's being destroyed and being taken by FEMA.
Yes.
I have not heard from the Starlink engineer that lives in North Carolina that is having the stuff flown air cargo in there. I am not hearing him make that assertion. I'm hearing other people make that assertion that are not even remotely close to being linked to that.
So you think it's people just spreading bullshit to spread fear and nonsense?
Yes.
Well, let Trash Ops show or tell his story from what he understands.
Well, I mean, as far as I'm understanding what I told you via the stories, that's what I'm hearing second, third hand as well. All I saw today was there was men with guns standing at the Walmart. It looks like they are PMC or people who are paid to be operators there, standing at the Walmart, and obviously cleaning
That's
everything.
standard operating procedure.
Yep.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We
Prevent
were
rioting, looting.
able to make contact with a few people here and there. As far as going to the areas where I guess the roads are gone, the state police shut it down, so we cannot get a vehicle up there. But evidently, according to the radio, they're able to bring a helicopter through, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good.
And that's what I've
Basically, I think what we're hearing right now, Trash Shots, from the conversations I had with you and conversations tonight so far, is that
It's a big butt fuckery out there.
basically it's a good sailor fest. So
It's how about this? To tell you the truth, it sounds like when you go out there, it's like a free for all. I mean, not everyone's killing each other as a free for all, but it's as a information free for all. Where he say, she said, they said, we
Yes.
said.
Yeah.
So basically, what it
And
is like people just doing shit just to spread panic and fear, just to
It-
get them to react
yeah.
and do dumb shit.
yeah. All right, guys.
And so-
I got to split. I got some stuff to get done, but it was great to chat with you tonight. I gotta
Sure.
bail
Can we
out of here.
shut down the
Take it
live
easy,
stream?
Nate.
Have a good
Well,
one.
I'm gonna get out of here shortly, but yeah, the live stream's gonna end here shortly.
Oh, I
Okay.
thought we
So-
were. Oh, this was live.
This is all live,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, I'm sorry about that, man.
No, you
Okay.
did
No, no
nothing
worries.
wrong.
This is your channel.
Yeah, this is my channel.
Yeah.
This is all live, dude.
Oh, okay.
No, you've done nothing wrong. That's and if it will put me in jeopardy, oh well. Nobody watches
Mhm.
my shit anyway.
Oh,
But
okay.
anyway, yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up right now. Shut
Who's
it
watching
down.
anyways?
Huh?
Who's watching anyways?
Oh, there's a couple of
There's
different
a few
people
people.
watching.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was live. I would have.
You dude, you didn't
But
do
we're also
anything wrong.
broadcasting the same time that Pop's got the supporter stream up too. So
Right.
a lot of people are probably busy that are our mutual audience.
Yeah.
Another thing too is if anyone can contact Pop and have me go on the show with him, I want to tell people what I saw out there because it's not people. We're not getting pictures and information out there, and it's bad. I want people to know how bad it really is out there.
Send an
Fucking
email to
Cliff.
redonkulous12.
Okay.
Redonkulous12 at Gmail.
Okay, well, I will just be quiet, and you can do what you got to do.
All right. Well, we're going to end the live stream, so we will close the YouTube channel. Cliff, get the fuck in the StreamYard, you son of a bitch. And I'm going to get out of here shortly anyway.
Where are you
I'm
going?
the
Alrighty.
big boss next week. I get to run the fucking show. Yeah, that's how happy I am about it. Fuck you.
I pray for your employees.
Oh no, they're fine. They're good. The administration, they're in real trouble. Those motherfuckers are about done. Anyway, gentlemen, we are ending this live stream and we will see you on the dark side.